So we are going to get started with a quick video. And the video I wanted to use to set the tone. So I'm gonna preface this video by telling you that it's a video that was by Steve Harvey. And the reason why I'm prefacing with this video is because I want people to understand when it comes to goal setting, it's not just about you having the work ethic to do goals, to write goals down and to actively look to achieve them. It's about your imagination too, right? It's about, as a man thinketh or as a woman thinketh. It's about understanding that, right? There's somewhere, depending on what you believe, right? There's a higher power that's helping you achieve these things as long as you have that imagination, you have the ability to think about those things. So I'm prefacing that with this because I respect all religions. I respect atheists. Whatever you believe in, that's your business, right? I don't ever convert people. You believe in whatever you want to believe in. Moon, stars, no God, the same God I believe in. I don't care whether you read the Quran, the Bible, or you're a Buddhist. It doesn't matter to me. Understand that Steve Harvey is going to mention God. I just always, whenever I'm doing something on a platform like this, and this, this many people, I always say that just so people understand. So people won't think this, we're going to turn this is we're not pastoring, we're not ministering, we're not doing any of that. But I do want you guys to understand Steve Harvey's point of view because he's been through some things. It's a short video, it's not long at all, but it will set the tone before we get into the material on what we're going to be doing, which we're going to be talking about the 6 steps of setting proper SMART goals. We're going to talk about the 4 secrets to getting through your goals, the things that you need to be doing, and we're going to practice a few things here as well. There are a lot of downloads. We are not going to go through all of them individually because that will probably bore you all to death. We are going to take a 10-minute break, about 1.5 hours in as well. So just be prepared for all of that. Have your water, have your tea, your coffee, whatever you drink. And I'm gonna need y'all to get excited for me. I know it's early, especially for the people who are on the West Coast. It's 8 in the morning for you guys, Mountain Time, 9 in the morning for you all. So just if y'all could just give me some excitement as we get through this, it's gonna be great. Good stuff, good stuff. I love it. I love it. And I'm gonna go ahead and get this video queued up real quickly. This video is about 8 minutes. It is a good video. You will see some value in it, and then we're gonna get right into talking about the material and getting everybody kind of in a place where they can get their goals, get some course correction or get some new goals, whatever you guys have going on. You guys ready? If you're ready, put a 3 in the chat. Put a 3 in the chat if you're ready. Put a 3 in the chat if you're ready. All right, so it's gonna take me about 10 seconds to cue this video up, and then we'll be moving on that. And welcome to the people on YouTube as well. Welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone. All right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen so we can get moving on this.
Things, it will transform your life. That I want you to do. If you do these 2 things, it will transform your life. I'm a motivational speaker when I'm not doing this, but And the reason I do really well as a motivational speaker, because I know what I'm talking about. You know, you're looking at somebody been at the bottom before. So I'm not like some rich dude whose mama and them had some money and gave me some money. Now I'm telling y'all how to get over. No, I'm gonna tell you how to get over because I've been under. I'm gonna tell you how to get up because I've been down. I'm gonna tell you how to finish because I got off to a bad start. Now I'm about to tell you two things. Now listen to me. What I'm about to tell you, this is for spiritual people only. If you're not a spiritual person, this ain't for you. If you don't believe in God, this ain't finna do nothing for you. But I ain't know you was coming, so no other version. This is only people who have a faith. You ain't got to be no like born again Christian or nothing like that. You got to know that God is God. If you understand that, I can help you from here. I'm gonna give you two things that can change your life. It's two scriptures that changed my entire life. It's very simple. The cool thing about what I'm finna tell you is anybody can do it. This is what I'm finna tell you. See, I am not finna talk to you about no education because I ain't got one. I flunked out of school. I had a severe stuttering problem. I couldn't talk outside my house. I ain't do well in school ever. I ended up flunking out of school. I'm on my third marriage. I lost everything I've owned twice. I've been homeless and lived in the car for 3 years. I'm finna tell you what I know. This ain't no fancy rich boy answer, no theories, no, you ain't got to buy no program to do this. You ain't got to go sign up. I'm telling you right now, what I'm finna tell you, if you apply it right now, can change your existence. Because everybody I know want to be happy. Everybody I know want to be successful. If you don't want them two things, there's something wrong with you anyway. So now here, there is a scripture that I'm going to give you. It's a very small scripture. It's very short. I don't even know where it is in the Bible. Somebody probably know it if I say it, but I'm going to give it to you. This scripture changed my life. You have not because you ask not. Do you have any idea how major those words are for you? You have not because you ask not. It's such a simple scripture, but it's in your Bible. It ain't just in rich people's Bible. It's in the same copy you got. You have not because you ask not. This is the truest statement you'll hear me say today. Because it's true. Most people don't have the life of their dreams because you don't ask God for the life of your dreams. You've been trying to figure it out and handle it yourself. Well, how that's working out for you. You know how hard that is to do, man? Because I did it. I did it for 30-some years. I tried to figure it out myself. Man, the simple scripture says, you have not because you ask not. If you up your ask, he automatically ups his give. You his child. God created you. He made you. You ain't just here by no accident. You ain't here because of your mom and daddy. Where your mom and daddy come from? Somebody started this whole thing. God created you. He gave you these little simple things you can do. You have not because you ask. Second reason people don't have what they want. They'll be through it. They don't have it written down. This is a very, very important piece to success. It's a principle of success. Every wealthy person knows this. I don't know nobody wealthy don't have a vision board. I don't know nobody wealthy don't have their stuff written on a piece of paper. I don't know nobody. I know a lot of people doing good. We have discussed it at great lengths. They showed me some of their vision boards that, well, I had to go back and change mine. I went, whoa. But you gotta have a vision board that's gotta be written down. You know why? Because that's a scripture too. Habakkuk 2:2. Go, I know where this one at. Habakkuk 2:2. Go home and read that one. It says, write the vision and make it plain so that he who reads it will run to it. And even though it tarry, that means take a long time, wait for it. For surely it will come at an appointed time. telling you real now. What I'm telling you works. This ain't no magic trick. If you up your ass and you write everything you want from God on a piece of paper, now here's the exercise I want you to do. This gonna trip you out. Write everything you want from God on a piece of paper. Be as detailed as you can. Write it down. The object for you is to write down 300 things. Because I know 300 things that you could use. It's gonna be hard for you. When you get to number 75, you're gonna get stuck. Because your mind isn't conditioned to think way out there. So you're gonna try to stay in your little list. But I want you to just open up your imagination. If you could have anything you wanted, put it on a piece of paper. Anything. How many cars? What kind of car? What color? Where you want your next house to be? Do you want a summer home? Where you want to travel to? How much you want in the bank? How much would you like to have retired? What you want to leave for your grandkids? How much would you like to give all your siblings? Would you like to one day walk in there and just give all your family a check? Put everything you want on a piece of paper. Do not stop until you have 300 things. It's going to take you a while. I'm telling you, when you get to 75, your brain going to lock up. But keep writing it down. But every morning, read your list. I don't want you watching TV at night. I want you to read your list, unless it's Family Feud. Other than that, I just... No, seriously, take 5 minutes and read your list every night, every morning. 1 year from today, wait 1 year from today, and take a pen out and go down on your list and check off anything that has happened for you that's on that list. Listen to me.
Right. When I look at the mirror, I was like, I mean,
your list expectation that God is.
It was you answered.
You know how I know? Because I know a lot of people that do that. But you know how I really know? Because I did. When I open up my phone, I wish I had it. My phone is my vision board. My phone ain't got a picture of no damn dog on it, no sunset, none of that. All of my computers have my vision board on it. Every iPad, tablet I got, laptop. When I pull it, I have my vision board on it. Because that's the signal I'm sending to God that I believe this is what you're going to do for me. I take stuff, I got to get a new vision board now because there's a lot of stuff off that vision board that I put on there like a year ago or 2 years ago that they came true. I'm telling you, y'all, this is how this works. You have not because you ask not, and write the vision and make it plain. You do them two things starting today. Write your list, read it every morning, every night. 1 year, check it out, you'll be stunned. I dare you to try that. Watch and see what God do. God keep all his promises. I'm just telling you, thank y'all.
Well, hopefully you guys can hear me. And that also gave us a chance to get some more people in while we were waiting for that. So how is everybody who got on since the video was running? Hope you guys are all doing good. Let me get my other screen over here. So I'm looking at y'all, not the other computer. All right, so now, does it look like I'm looking at y'all now? This is always difficult.
Yes.
Good. All right, so.
Thank you, sir.
Make sure I'm running this correctly. Okay, so we're gonna go through some. Now we're not gonna go through all of these sheets directly in a row because I have them broken down different ways. We are gonna do 4 steps, 5 steps, 6 steps. We are gonna do that way, but I'll give you a time to shuffle and find whichever one, whichever sheets that you need to be looking at this particular at whatever particular time you need to be looking at them. So. And the people, if somebody messaged you about being in a waiting room, guys, just open up your mic and let me know because we're trying to do both and people are still coming in. So as they come in, I'm gonna get them let in. All right, so a couple of things here that I want to cover going into this. The first thing we're gonna cover is a sheet that says put it in your 2 weeks notice. And I'm gonna explain, what these different sheets are for. I'll pull them up on my side as well so that you can see them up on the screen, just so you get a second visual of that. But the 2 weeks notice is before we get started setting goals, it's probably obvious that the most important thing to do is to clear the space and the time. Yes or yes? So put a 3 in the chat if that makes sense. So one of the mistakes that we make, so what I'm doing is I'm going by the fact that people make several mistakes, and this is why they don't get through their goals. Getting through your goals is not just procrastination. A lot of times you don't set yourself up to properly succeed and get through your goals in the first place. How many people have set goals, right? Or said to themselves, hey, I'm gonna create these new goals for the new year, mid-year, whenever, but you didn't take anything off your plate that you had there in the first place, right? Put your hand in the air, right? You set new goals, but you didn't take anything off your plate. So you already know, because I don't know anybody that don't think they're too busy. Everybody I talk to, everybody's too busy. Everybody got 25 hours of stuff to do in a 24-hour day. So then you set all of these new goals for the new year, but you don't take anything off your plate. So you're either going to organically replace that stuff, right? Or you're gonna not replace it and you're gonna keep saying, right? Even something as simple as health, right? I want to lose 10 pounds, but I don't change what I eat. That's a real simple one right there. You can't lose 10 pounds if you don't change what you eat, right? So you've got to get rid of, right, something. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be a bad habit, but it may be something that's fulfilling that time. So the sheet for putting in your 2 weeks notice, I'm not telling y'all to quit your job because we're doing goals, so don't get scared. I'm telling you to put in a 2 weeks notice for the things that you need to get rid of to make space for the things that you plan to do. Does that make sense? So I've been in church all my life, and I've seen this example so many times where the pastor gets on stage and they talk about how we're holding on to the things that we don't want to get rid of, but we want new things to come. And the last time I saw that example, it was a pastor on stage that literally took some pennies out of a penny bank and had the pennies in their hand and held their hand like this on stage, and then dropped a lot of money, cash money, paper money onto his hand that he couldn't grab hold of because he was holding on to the pennies. You guys follow that? He's holding on to pennies and he can't catch dollars because he won't let go of the pennies to open up his hand to get what? Right? The bigger money. And this is what we do. We say, hey, look, I've got lofty goals. I want to reach all of these different places in my life. And the problem is where you're at now, where you're coming from. It may not be a bad place, but you're trying to leave somewhere to get somewhere else, but you won't let go of where you're trying to leave. And some of us won't even let go of people that we're bringing with us that don't deserve to be there. And what you have to understand is, right, there's always a plan for you. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care what higher power you believe in. There's a plan for you. And if that plan is for you, you cannot bring people unauthorized to be there, right? Right. So you got a key card to get into this place that you can't bring visitors. So some of you guys are holding on to people, not just things, but people that won't allow you to get to your goals because those people aren't allowed to be in that place. And you're trying to bring them where you're going, and that prevents you from getting in. Does that make sense? Everybody put a 4 in the chat if that makes sense. So putting in your 2 week notice, you'll see that sheet that I have, it is interactive. And I want you guys to literally take that sheet. If you printed it off, I want you to write on it. If you did not print it off and you're going to pull it up on your computer and type in it, go ahead and do so. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys 2 or 3 minutes for you guys to put into that sheet. I want you to put on that sheet what you're willing to let go of, because before we start doing this goal setting here, I'm going to need to know that you're making space so that you're not wasting your time and you're not wasting our time. Does that make sense? Because you can feel really good getting off this in 3 hours and saying, okay, I set some goals, but where are you going to put them? Because it's only 7 days a week. You can't make it. We don't have that power yet. You can't make a day of the week. You can't make a 25th hour. So you're going to have to figure out where those goals that you're setting right now are going to go. So I want you guys to put that on your sheet, and I will pull the sheet up just so you guys know how it looks, just in case somebody is saying, hey, I don't know how this sheet looks. Let me share my screen real quick. And I'm going to do a little bit of annotation here so you guys can see my pen. Am I annotated? I am. Let's go over here. All right, so on this sheet, put a 5 in the chat if y'all can see this. I'm assuming y'all can see this. I didn't ask anybody. Probably not a good idea, right? You guys can see this. Somebody put a 5 in the chat. Is that chat moving over there?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, we can see it.
I can see it. All right, so this is it right here, right? Use this exercise to create a short list of items or activities that you plan to replace with your new goals. So it's 11:29 East Coast. That's 11:29. I'm gonna give you guys until 11:32, 3 minutes. Start brainstorming, get some things on there. And this is going to be based on what kind of goals you're looking to set. If it's a health goal, if it's a weight loss goal, then you're going to have to replace some of them nights out at that nice restaurant you like to go to and exchange them for some days on the treadmill or on the elliptical, or whatever you're going to do, walk the park, whatever you're going to do, right? Trading some bad habits, possibly bad habits, for some good habits here. One more minute. Next time we do this, I might play some music for y'all. All right, all right, all right. Time's up, time's up, time's up. Stop this share screen. Okay, so. All right, so hopefully you guys were able to make some things happen with that, get some things on there. Now, of course, some of these exercises you're gonna finish on your own. In this 3 hours, this is certainly not gonna be enough time for you to get everything in completion of setting goals in total, but it will put you in a position where you can pretty much finish what we started here, right? You guys able to put some things here? Let me see a 6 in the chat or a hand in the air. 6 in the chat or a hand in the air, whichever way you're more comfortable doing. Good, 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 good. You got some things down. And that's what's important, guys. We want to make sure that you're making some space for this. So the next thing you want to do after that, so that's the first thing you're doing is I'm going to make some space for my goals. And I want you guys to kind of write these things down so that you understand the timeline that we're going through. So when you're going to set goals again, you can do this. The next thing we want to do is look at our personal development and which I call self-development. And the self-development aspect of it is important. And I like to call this soul cleansing, right? So soul cleansing deal. So you may want to up your game somewhere in your life, right? Be a better person, get a better job, open up a business, double your income in your business, right? Lose weight, gain friends, whatever you got going on, right? Whatever's in your world that you're looking to do. Remember, we've always got to work on ourselves first. And one of the things with self-development that I found is that we will get in the habit of picking up books that somebody else tells us to read that may not specifically know what's wrong with us. So it's not that somebody's telling you to read a book that's not good for you to read. It's they're telling you to read a book, but they don't really know what's wrong with you. So a sales book, if you're in sales, is always going to be a positive request, right? Somebody says, hey, you should read this book. It's probably a good book for you to read. But if you're crazy as all get out, I don't care how good at sales you are, you're still crazy, right? If you don't know how to be in a relationship with another person and you read a book, right, on something that has nothing to do with that, you may get better at that other skill set. But if you're saying, I want to get married, right? I was married 10 years ago, went through a divorce. My head is clear now, I'm ready to get back in it. You want to get married again, and you reading books about sales, not reading books on how to get better, how to be a better significant other, or how to live and dwell in the same position with somebody else. So you have to know what's wrong with you, right? And like Harold Brand says, right, it may not be something wrong with you, right? But you need some work. So if you need some work, you need to do some self-development, which means you need to read books that strengthen your weaknesses. So one of those sheets that I gave you guys, it's SYW, it's called the SYW worksheet. And it's 2 pages and it's got the months on it. It's got 6 months and 6 months. And it's showing you how to read a different book every month, but not a book that's suggested by somebody who has your best interest in mind, but a book that you are choosing because you know that you screwed up, because we all screwed up. Like everybody I meet, I know that they crazy because I'm crazy too. I just want to know what kind of crazy you are. I just need to know that I can deal with your kind of crazy. And if I can, I just know to stay out your way. It's really just that plain and simple. I am a person that I really do believe in therapy. I believe in, especially, I'm 47 years old. You don't get to 40 years old and don't need to see a therapist. I'm sorry. And this is regular life. If you've been in the military or any, you're a fireman or a firewoman, a police officer, those kind of jobs, if you are a therapist, you need a therapist because you are taking on everybody else's problems all day, every day. So when you get to a certain age, you've been through enough between death, right? Between disappointments, bad relationships, right? Getting fired, getting laid off, struggling, different things that have happened in your life that you probably need a therapist somewhere, right? So the point of me telling you that is that I know that we all got a little bit crazy. It's just, where am I crazy at and what can I do to work on that? Because in order for you to get right the best quality of life that you can, the best quality of life, you've got to read, you've got to do personal development or self-development that's really beneficial to you. If you know you're procrastinating, you should be reading books on procrastination. If you know you need to strengthen your sales, then you read books on sales. If you know your spiritual life is suffering, then you read books on spiritual life. If you're saying, I need to eat better, I need to get my health better, right? I need to drop 5 pounds and go to the gym 1 more day a week. Read books on that. Watch YouTube videos on that. Because it doesn't necessarily have to be a book. It can also be YouTube. It can be a course that you take. It can be anything. But what I want you guys to do, the focus here is for you to work on things that you know are wrong with you. And if you're saying, you know what? I really don't know what's wrong with me. Ask somebody that's close to you. Significant other, children, best friend, somebody that you know has spent enough time with you that they know you screwed up, right? Because I know who to ask about my stuff. I got 3 kids, and they will love to tell me what's wrong with me. Every chance they get, they tell me. So I know there's people that I can ask what's wrong with me that I may miss, and then I can read a book on that because it helps people deal with me better, right? Yes, put a 7 in the chat. So after we have now made a decision that we were going to say what? I'm going to make space for these goals that I'm looking to accomplish. I'm going to make space for these goals. After I decide I'm gonna make space, I am now going to make a decision to every month read a book that is particular to a challenge that I'm having in my life. Because I need you to get better along the way while you complete these goals. I need you to 2 years later not say I make more money, but I'm still a creep. Right? I need you to not say, hey, I built my business like I wanted to, but I've got less friends, or my kids don't want to spend time with me because of the kind of person I am. Is that fair to say, guys? So I want you to build yourself as you're building these goals, because it's a lottery mentality. If you change your life, but you don't change who you are, you will end back up where you were. Is that fair? So self-development has to move forward with the other growth areas in your life. So that's why we do the self-development. That's what that worksheet is for, and it's to help you track it, because you guys know I believe in tracking. So that's what you're going to do with that sheet. You're going to write down what piece of self-development you're going to use. It could be audio, could be video, could be a physical book. It could be you taking a class. It can be any of those things. Put that down there. And then I want you to also put what it's going to help. What it's going to help. And guess what happens when you start along that journey? You already start feeling better. Even before you totally correct what's wrong, the fact that you know you're working on you, you automatically feel better. Is that fair to say? You automatically feel better. So I want you guys to look at that. So moving on to the next sheet. I got all of this time, so y'all got to work with me. All right, so let's look at the 4 goal setting secrets, because this is important. The 4 goal setting secrets is important because I want you all to really think about, and this is part of what Steve Harvey was talking about in the beginning as well. So let me go to these to the 4 secrets, and I'm gonna open up my my share screen again here while I pull this up, so that you guys have a little bit of a visual on this. And again, you guys have this sheet as well. It's in that 10-page interactive pamphlet that I sent you all. It is actually the last page. It's page 10 on that pamphlet. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quickly so that you guys can all see it through my share screen. As soon as I find my little share screen tab here. Let me see. Right. And you should be seeing it populate here now.
We see it.
See it? All right. Okay, so I got these 4 secrets from a guy that I follow named Dan Lok. And he went into really kind of a really deep conversation about these all. Set it, see it, live it, and share it. And this is important. Set it is what we're going to do with the actual SMART goal interactive sheet that we're going to be using. That's where we're going to set it, meaning that you're going to write it down. Now, if you're the person, like I said, that needs to take an actual ink pen and write things on paper for it to lock into your brain, everybody's body and mind works differently. If that is who you are, then I want you particularly to write this goal down. You guys follow that? If you are a person that in order for you to lock something in personally in your life, it needs to be written down on paper, then I need you to take the time to whatever goals that we discuss, whatever goals you're shooting for, 90-day goals, 6-month goals, annual goal, I want you to physically write it down if that's who you are. Because I need you to set it. I need you to write that goal down. So if you're saying, I can do it on an interactive sheet, I can type it in and it does the same for me, then I want you to do it there, right? And we're going to get to that part. So you don't have to stop and do that right now. I just want you to know that these are going to be the 4 steps. So setting it and writing it down is the first step. The next thing is going to be see it, which is visualization, right? Very important. So on your cell phone, I'm going to ask you when we're done here during this 3-hour seminar, I want you all to get rid of the screensavers on your computer, on your cell phone, wherever you got a screensaver at, your tablet. I want you to replace whatever you have, right, with your goal. Now, if you've got something sentimental there, you lost a parent, you lost a child, you lost a sibling, and that's the picture you got there. I don't want to disrespect that idea that's going on in your world. So don't do it if that's how you're going to feel about that, right? But I want you guys to your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, you're looking at that more than you're looking at anything else all day. That's a proven fact. The statistics will tell you. We look at our screen, our cell phone screens more than we look at anything else. If you have a tablet, that's going to be in that number as well. If you're a person that gets in front of your computer all day long, whether it be at work or in your business, you're looking at that screen all day long. One of the parts of visualization is your brain does what you tell it to do. So don't be fooled by thinking that your brain is kind of working on its own. Your brain is doing what it thinks you want it to do. What you put in front of your brain is what it thinks you want it to work on. Put an 8 in the chat if that makes sense. What you see is very important. And I'm going to tell this story that I've told several times. So for those who may not know what Legal Shield is, I've been in Legal Shield for 13 years. And years ago, probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 years into the business, I was really running to get myself to the executive director position and be a ring earner with the company and all those different things, with that network marketing company. And of course, obviously, since for those that know me, I've been in Legal Shield for 13 years now and executive director and $100,000 ring earner and all that kind of stuff. But the idea was I had to visualize it first. And in this story, where I had to visualize, because I've always been into The Secret and law of attraction and all those different things. What I did to visualize it is I had it written on the mirrors in my house. Right? I had it written on the mirrors, right? As aggravated as that could be, I had it written on the mirrors. I had it hanging from my mirror on my car. I had literally written it on like a little small little square pad. And I had it like literally spinning from my rear view mirror hanging on my car. And then when I pulled into my garage, I literally had signs in my garage that when I pulled in, it said reserved for ring earners. And where did I get that sign from? I stole that sign, right? I'm not encouraging you to steal. I stole that sign from a Super Saturday that I had went to. I went to a Super Saturday and they had the tables for the ring earners in the front. And when the Super Saturday was over with, I took the signs that said reserved for ring earners and I put them in the garage of my house against the wall. So when I pulled in the driveway into the garage, it said reserved for ring earners. That may seem cheesy. It may seem like, right, I was being, superstitious or whatever you may want to call it, hokey, but it worked. Because my brain understood that that's what I wanted to do. Visualizing your goals makes it really important. That means that your banner on your Facebook page should reflect your goals. Everything that you're looking at should say that. It should be on your walls. It should be on your vision board. It should be throughout your house if your family supports that. I know that's not everybody's circumstance, right? I've got a guy that I follow, and I'm gonna talk about him a little bit later on because I'm gonna be giving away some free books that he's the author of. But Sabri, he had gotten so obsessed with visualization and his vision board and having what he wanted in front of him that he literally took the things from his vision board, put them on a small, like a cardboard, and then he literally laminated it and put it in the shower. So that when he was in his shower, he could see it in the shower, but it wouldn't get wet because it was laminated. So some people really go to the extreme of doing that. Now, this same guy that I'm talking about, who was that extreme in 2014, this guy was working out of his garage, creating a sales company to show people how to do funnels and all kind of sales and things like that. This is 2014. It's 2022 now. His company does $30 million in sales a year, right? Not because of that one particular incident, but simply because he took the time, the energy, right, to visualize his goals. And you can't be afraid to do that. And you're going to see that on number 4, which is share it. So 3 is live it, act as if, right? This is not lying. This is not, and for those who have taken any other training that I've done, you know how I am about going in front of your mirror and doing, talking about your goals and, I am great and I am wonderful. Guess what, guys? That is all good stuff to me, except when you're lying to yourself. And this is not the place to go in depth into that, but understand, you will not get anything out of life by standing in the mirror and talking things into existence that you're not working on. If you are a creep, you cannot stand in the mirror and say, I'm a great person and become a great person. It doesn't work that way. You have to literally make an attempt to become a great person, right? So when I say act as if, I mean doing things like, if you're saying, I really want a Range Rover, that's what I want to be driving in the next 36 months. I would really highly suggest that you go to a Range Rover dealership once a month and test drive a Range Rover, because sitting inside that car, driving that car, telling your brain that this is the vehicle that you want to be in, feeling the leather, right? Going through that whole process really does make your brain understand that that's important to you. Put an 8 in the chat if that makes sense to you, right? So acting as if means that you carry yourself, right? I remember listening to Jim Rohn years ago, and he says, man, I started tipping like a rich man, right? Because I told myself that when I had a certain amount of money, I was going to stop tipping 10% and start tipping 20%. He said, I started tipping like a rich man when I couldn't afford it. Now, you may not necessarily want to tip like a rich man or a rich woman if you choose not to, but the idea is you have to act as if in your life what you're working on, because all these things have to come together. It can't just be, I wrote this thing down and I want it. It has to be, I wrote this thing down, I want it. I'm visualizing it, I'm keeping it in my face so that I can constantly see it, right? I'm acting as if. So I'm going to test drive this Range Rover so that my brain knows that that's the next car that I want, right? If you're wanting a certain house, if you're saying I live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but I want to move to this community in the next few years, and I want to move in a 5-bedroom, 4-bath, then guess what? When they have an open house in that community, you need to be at that open house, going and walking that house, looking at that floor plan and acting as if. Does that make sense to everybody? You have to take it that serious. If you don't take it that serious, excuse me, let me get these people let in. I apologize. If you don't act as if, then why should you be? I think Steve Harvey said it in the video I played. He said, "God, if you got to up your ask." Some of us here right now simply don't have certain things because we just never asked for it. We just sitting around wishing about it. You want a bigger house and you playing the lottery. Playing the lottery is not, that's not goal setting. You can't set a goal, right, that you're not in control of accomplishing. You can't hit the lottery because you choose to hit it. That's luck. So I'm not saying don't play the lottery. What I'm saying is the big house you want, if you really want that big house, if you really want to take care of your parents, if you really want to put your kids in prestigious college, you can't play the lottery to hit that goal. You have to set that as a goal. Because when you set goals that are set by you have to be goals that you're in control of accomplishing. Or you can throw that goal right out the window, because it's impossible to accomplish a goal if you're not in control of whether you accomplish it. So unless you know something I don't know, unless you know a trick, you can't hit the lottery because you want to. It's just a lucky number that you pull, right? So if you want to do that, do it. Just understand that you don't have control of it. So you may not reach that goal. So I need you to live it. I need you to act as if. I need you to do things that you would be doing if you were in that circumstance. And again, let's be mindful. I'm not saying go spend money that you don't have, because that's not acting as if. I'm not telling you to go broke, but I am telling you that you're going to have to make some sacrifices, right? I am telling you that you're going to have to make some sacrifices, that you're going to have to put your mindset that you in a way that you live a way that you would like to be living, so that your brain starts to move in that direction because it knows that that's what you want. The last one is share it, right? Really important. Share it. Share it. And this is tough for some people because some people, they are introverts, they're private. And I'm going to need you to release a little bit of your privacy, because what I want to happen for you is I want the world to play a part in you hitting your goals, right? I want the world to hold you accountable. And that's what will happen when you put your goals out there. So I want to see a 9 in the chat if anybody shared their goals, and as they shared their goals, things started coming to them through other people, because they literally put their goals out there. So somebody knew you were looking to accomplish a specific goal, and they may have given you a hand, right? Introduced you to someone that could help you with that goal, right? Done something for you. Put a 9 in the chat. Now let me check the chat. Since I told you I put a 9 in the chat. There we go. Come on now. Tracy, Carmen, Rose. This is good, right? Shanna, this is good. Hey, Shanna. Valerie, this is good. This is good. Shanna, my girl, that's my girl right there. That's my heart right there. So yeah, this is really important, guys, because you don't have to work as hard when the world conspires to do you good. Write that down. When the world conspires to do you good, you don't have to work as hard. And sometimes we're saying, you know what? I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to surprise everybody. No, you're not going to surprise everybody. You're scared to say what you're going to do because you think if you don't hit it, somebody's going to laugh at you. So you can't fool me with that nonsense. Because who you trying to surprise? You trying to surprise who? Nobody care about you. What you talking about? You going to surprise somebody. Nobody care about your surprise, right? You're not waiting to surprise somebody. You are scared to release a goal to the universe that you can't hit, right? It's called limited beliefs. I remember when I used to try to help people hit executive director, I realized probably 3 or 4 years into network marketing, I realized that some people didn't want to get to a position that wasn't permanent because they was afraid about what people were going to think about them if they didn't hold on to that position. Right? You said, wait a minute, I hit this position, but if I'm not there next month, people are going to laugh at me. How's somebody going to laugh at you that wasn't even in the position in the first place? They can't laugh at you. And the people who've been in that position, they fell back before too, so they're not going to laugh because they know just what you're going through. So what you've got to understand is you've got to share. You've got to share. So when we do our mastermind group, and I'm going to talk about this at the end, I'm going to be doing a mastermind group, and I'm going to mention that after this whole session is over with, a whole seminar is over with. And that mastermind group, part of the exercise in that mastermind group is going to be for the people in that mastermind group to share their goals on their social media page. And the other people in the mastermind group are going to be required to go and like those and then comment on their goals. Because you've got to get in the mindset of sharing your goals. Your family should not know what you're working on, right? It's no way in the world, right? My family knows what I'm working on. My significant other knows what I'm working on. My kids know what I'm working on because they're of age. I've got a 15-year-old, a 24-year-old, and a 27-year-old, right? They know what I'm doing. They know right now not to bother me because I'm doing a goal setting seminar. My family always knows what I'm doing. Every level in life that I've moved up to, right, in my 47 years, since social media has been around, I have posted it beforehand. I'm running for this. I'm doing for that. Right? I always let people know what I'm doing because even something small. So put a 10 in the chat if at some point in the last 2 weeks, you went to my Facebook page and did a prayer or put praying hands because I said that I was traveling. Right? Me and the family was traveling. A lot of you guys went to my page, safe travels, this and that. So what am I doing? This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I don't believe that my prayer is enough. I literally had 300 people praying for us to be safe on the road. That's powerful. Because I didn't leave that up to just my prayer. My mom is a big prayer. My mom was praying, right? My significant other's family was praying. But when I went on Facebook and said, pray, guess how many prayer warriors got on there and prayed? So it's like, we knew we were going to be safe going to New York and coming back because we had hundreds of people praying for us.
You have somebody in the waiting room.
Thank you. Ooh, it's some bodies too. Sorry, some bodies.
If you need a co-host to sit on by, I can help you out too.
Oh, you know what? Thank you so much. Let me do that real quick because thank you.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. It's good. It's always exciting to see a lot of people, but it's I'll be trying to get these people let in. But I got 3 screens here, so guys, mommy, I'm over here acting like I'm like this is real TV. There's nothing happening for real, but I'm acting like it. So it's a lot going on over here. So guys, seriously, you want people to share in you hitting your goals. That is so very important. So when I say share it, be accountable to the world, don't be afraid to let the world know what you're running for because you wouldn't believe, like I've got people who say, I can't find an accountability partner. And I don't necessarily tell them that because I don't know their whole story, but I can promise you without even knowing that some people who can't find an accountability partner, you can't find one because nobody knows that you want to be accountable for anything. You're not telling anybody that you're running for goals. You're not telling anybody that you're tired of being in the position that you're in and you want to be somewhere else. So if you don't tell people that, nobody's going to raise their hand to help you, support you, be accountable, because some of us are so busy on social media and in our personal lives trying to make everybody think that we've arrived, that who's going to help you? Who's going to pray for me if everybody thinks that it's already done? Right? You can't ask for help if you're telling everybody that you arrived in the first place. So it's about sharing what are your goals. So once you have your goals written down on these sheets that we're going to go over, when you get those goals written down there, I'm going to need you to share those goals. I'm going to need for those to be on Facebook. I'm going to need for those to be on Instagram. I'm going to need for those to be on whatever platform that you're on. I'm going to need you to make your TikTok videos. Instead of you playing with your cat, play with your goals on TikTok and Reels and all this other stuff. We so busy trying to make everybody laugh, but we suffering inside. Because we're not where we should be, but we want everybody to feel like we're in this place. Instead of getting there with the help of the people that we're showing off for in the first place. So those 4 secret goal setting tips, right? Set it, see it, live it, and then share it. That's going to be very important. You guys follow that? Good stuff, good stuff. So where we going next? Let me look at my chat so I'll make sure we're not lost here. All right, so now let's do the five results mindset questions, right? And I'm gonna keep my share screen up because that's gonna be here. And I've got plenty of room for you guys to put y'all's thought-provoking answers here, right, on your own time. I'm gonna give you a few minutes to do it here in a second, but I'm gonna go over it first so that you understand it. You totally understand where we're going with it first.
This is going to be a different download, not in the pamphlet.
Yo, this is in the pamphlet. This is page number 2 in the pamphlet. In that 10-page pamphlet, this is page number 2. So the 5 results mindset questions, right? What do I want to do? That's a results-based question, guys. What do I want? So we're looking for results. What do I want to do? What do I want to be? What do I want to see? What do I want to have? And where do I want to go? The reason why you're putting those, because when you start working on a SMART goal sheet, you have to be specific. You can't say, I want to travel. That's why I say, where do I want to go? Because once you put where you want to go, now your SMART goal is not going to be, I want to travel. It's going to be, I want to go to Barbados for 2 weeks. Do you guys follow that? The more specific your goals are, the faster you'll get there because your brain understands what you're allowing your brain to know facts without trying to figure it out. So the people who know me and when I travel and stuff, it's always a running joke because I am the GPS king. I promise you I am. Like I can go to the Walmart that's like 8 minutes from me and I put my GPS on. So if I'm on the phone with somebody, they're like, Dunbar, you've been in Jacksonville for 17 years. Why do you got your GPS on? Where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to Walmart. Well, why you got your GPS on? You don't know your way around your city? I said, yes, but I refuse to use my brain space to do any of that. I let the GPS tell me where to go. I have other things to think about. Even if it's daydreaming, that's my business. But I don't want to have to think about it. I want to focus on driving. Right? I want to know if there's an accident when I get on the expressway ahead of time, because guess what? Even if I know where to go, I can't see that there's an accident, but my GPS can't. So even though I'm driving around my city that I've been living in since 2005, I still put my GPS on because there's a method to my madness. It's not about being lazy. It's not about not knowing. It's about what I understand about my brain is that I use my brain to do things that I need my brain to be doing. I don't need my brain to drive around Jacksonville, so I let my GPS do it. That's why I have it. That's why I pay for it. Right? That's like you buying a car and then walking to work. What's the point? What's the point, right? The whole idea of you buying something that's automated is for you to use it. So I have a bike and I have a car. I buy a car because the car is going to get me to work faster, but I pedal my bike and say, well, I don't want to waste my bike. No, I use my brain to do things that I can't. I let my brain figure things out that I need to be figured out. That's what it's in my head for. So when it comes to specific goals, the more specific they are, you'll cut the learning curve. So that's why these results-based exercises will get you to detail your goals, because part of the reason why you're not running for them is because your brain is saying, well, she's saying she want to travel, but when I figure out where she want to go, then I'll work on that. If you say, I want to go to Hawaii for 2 weeks, then that's what's going to happen. If you've ever won a free trip somewhere, guess what? The free trip was specified when you started to run for it. It told you the day that you was going to go. It told you that it was all expenses paid, right? It told you the day that you was going to fly out, the day that you was going to come back. It told you what hotel you was going to be in. You see how specific that is? So now you know what? Before it's even time to go to that trip, you already know what hotel you're staying in. You know it's all expenses paid. You're now looking up excursions and all kinds of things you're looking up to find out things you want to do. You already have the date. You've got all of that. That's all specified. So now your brain is helping you run for that goal because the details are out of the way. They're out of the way because it's specific. So what I want you to do with those other forms, so you see that this is just letting you know, put it down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But these next empty sheets that you can, again, they're interactive. You can type into those sheets or you can print them off and handwrite them, whatever floats your boat. But you'll see that now the one is giving you a lot more space to visualize. What do I want to do? What do you want to do? That shouldn't be a one-line answer. What do you want to do? Right? I want to go back to Africa for 30 days and spend some time there and look at how it is in Africa. Look at the bad areas and look at the developed areas. I want to do all those things, right? I want to do the Serengeti. I want to see the animals cross the water. Those are things that I want to do. Specific things that I want to do. And then you attach a year, you attach a date. And guess what? If you miss that goal, you'll hit it at some point, but you may miss it from the time that you originally set it, but you're now working on some things, right? You're putting your brain to work on some things. All 5 of them, you're going to have a separate sheet there in that 10-page interactive pamphlet where you can type right in this sheet, or you can print it off and you can handwrite in it, right? What do I want to be? Visualize it, right? What do you want to be? Some of you are like, well, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s. I already know I'm a clerk, or I'm a school teacher, or I'm a banker, or whatever. But guess what? It's more in life to being than what your career is. What else do you want to be other than just whatever you do for a living? Because that's not it. Anybody spend any time talking to me know that I'm totally about quality of life. Money doesn't have a whole bunch of purpose for me. I know that I need it, right? I'm not crazy. I know you can't do nothing without money, so I know I need to have some, but I'm really about quality of life. I'm about creating memories, right? What do you want to be? I know that, right, in the world I live in, I know God not done with me because I wouldn't have woke up this morning. So I'm always looking for what else there is to do, right? What other quality of life can I have? So right now I'm really big on giving my granddaughter the things that I couldn't give my children. Because I didn't have the money. I had kids young. I had my kids. I had my first 2 kids when I was 20 and 23. I was broke. I was trying to figure out life. Y'all know how it is. Some of y'all been 20 before. It's like when you're 20 years old, you don't know what you're doing. And when you got a baby, it's just like crazy. And for the men, it's not even as bad for the women because y'all spending all the time with that baby. Right? The man is not spending the amount of time as the woman is spending. Like her whole life is turned around at 20 years old. You had a child at 20. And you're a woman, man, life stops. The degrees and all of this stuff stops. It's like you work whatever job you get to still take care of that baby. Yes or yes, put a 10 in the check. So what it's about here is saying, like, what do I really want to be? Because you can still be that. And most of us stopped dreaming when we got, in our 20s, when life started happening, we stopped dreaming. We got married, different things happening, we stopped. You can still be whatever it is that you're looking to be. You just got to set that as a goal, right? What do I want to see, right? What do you want to see? You got to visualize this stuff, guys. What do you want to see? Put it in front of your brain. Put it in front of your brain. What do I want to have? What do you really want to have as an asset? What do you want to have? Thought-provoking. And lastly, where do you want to go? Where do I want to go? It's got to be some places that you want to go in the world. Stop letting somebody else be the commander of your destination. Some of us, we so lazy, we go on the cruise and we like, well, I'm gonna go on the cruise. They're gonna take me everywhere. No, why don't you plan a trip? You plan a trip to go to 3 places outside of this country. I'm amazed at how many people just are in their 40s and 50s and just, I've never left the United States. I've never been outside of the states that are right outside the state I live in. Right, I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. I got friends that live in Buffalo, New York, and as far as they've been is Ohio and Pennsylvania. Right, I got friends that live in Buffalo, New York. They've never been to the city, ain't been to the 5 boroughs, never been to Manhattan. Right, never went and watched the ball drop because you never set that as a goal. Because you let I think Harold Branch mentions this when Sharon, myself, Ari, and Harold Branch did the BAPS program. And I see you, Sharon. Hey, Sharon, that's my big sister right there. So when we did that program, he says, if you show up with marionette strings, somebody's going to pull them. And this is what we're doing. We're showing up and letting somebody else control everything that happens. It's almost like, for me, it's almost like, how dare you? How dare you be given a life, right? Your life by whoever you believe delivered your life to you, right? You have that life and you let somebody else pull all the strings. You're going to pull your life strings and mine. Now, for the men, it's okay for you to be married and let your wife tell you what to do. I get that. That's different. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about letting somebody control where you're going in life, your destiny, what's important, right? Letting somebody tell you that you can't drive the car of your dreams. Let somebody tell you, like, how is it somebody that doesn't have the sense that God gave them live in a mansion and you can't afford, and you've been working hard all your life, but you're not setting the proper goals, you're not running because you're not giving. That person may not have the sense God gave them, but they was just stupid enough to do some things that they didn't even think they could do. And some of us, we're so intelligent that we say, oh, you know what? I can't do that. I can't accomplish that. I'm smart enough to know that I can't do that. And that's bad. But if you dream a little and put it on paper, your brain will start working on these things for you. Does that make sense? Put 11 in the chat. All right, let me make sure I'm on time here. All right, we good. And what time is it? Yeah, we good. All right, so we're gonna get into our 6 simple steps. But before we get into our 6 simple steps, I am going to, because I asked my big sister Sharon to jump on, so I'm gonna see if she got anything she wants to say before I move into my next into the 6 simple steps. We're gonna start talking about the SMART goal sheet and all that. And Sharon, I don't know whether you have, I'm just, but I know even if you don't have nothing to say, you got something to say.
I don't. I'm here. I'm working on my goals too. This is the time of the year that I do my goals. So now it's hard now for me not to run my mouth, but I'm listening.
I love it. All right, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into the 6 simple steps. And then after we finish covering some of this, we're going to take a break right around like about 12:20, 12:25. We're going to take a break. So if you guys can just bear with me. So you guys should still be seeing my screen. So here's the 6 simple steps. So we're still in that same 10-page pamphlet. Still in that same 10-page chat. So put a 12 or 13, put a 13 in the chat. If you guys can see this, 13 in the chat. Make sure y'all seeing what I'm seeing. All right, good. And thank you, Shannon, for getting everybody let in. You are so awesome. I really appreciate you. All right. So on the 6 simple steps, guys, we're going to, the whole point of these steps are to evaluate your goals' accessibility Because one of the reasons that people don't hit their goals is because they don't make goals that are actually accessible, right? Or they make their goals so small that they accomplish those goals, but they don't see much of an improvement in their life, right? So the next step is going to be designing your goals action plan, because it's one thing to say, I've set goals, right? It's another thing to say, okay, now I have these goals. Let's create an action plan to move forward on those goals. Step 3 is going to be identifying your potential obstacles, right? Because you don't want an obstacle to stop your workflow. And this is why we do step number 3, because when you're working on your goals, what you don't want is to get a hard stop because something happens that you weren't expecting. So if we identify your potential obstacles and then do step number 4, which is brainstorm and resolve your obstacles, that will help you so that you don't stop your workflow. It could still happen, especially if it's a bigger goal, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, but it's less likely to happen if you prepare for it. Step number 5 is going to be calendar your goals and your action items. Calendar your goals and your action items. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And then taking action today, meaning that get these on your calendar starting today, tomorrow, and moving forward, so that now you're doing day-to-day activity that's trackable, that's measurable, things that you're doing so that you know, okay, I'm moving forward. And again, once you start working on something, you already start to feel better even before you accomplish that goal in total. So that's going to be important too. So those are going to be the 6 steps. And as we go through those 6 steps, we're going to go through them with some of these worksheets. That's what the steps going to be. So the first step, which is evaluate your goals accessibility, we're going to do that with the SMART goal sheet. So I need you guys to grab your SMART goal sheet so that you can start working on a goal. And remember, one goal at a time. So you're not going to put on that sheet a bunch of goals that you're looking to hit all on one sheet, because you have to break your goals down so that you can break down the activity specifically, however you planning on doing it. Does that make sense to everybody? So bear with me real quickly. Let me, I'm gonna pull the sheet up here so you guys can see it here, but go ahead and grab your sheet so that you have it yourself in front of you. And again, you can type in it because it's interactive, or if you printed it off, you can write in it. Whatever it is that you need to do, however you need to do that, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. So what I am going to do is see if I can open this here. Put a 14 in the chat once you guys see this goal sheet up. You guys see it up. Put a 14 in the chat. All right, good. All right, so this sheet is kind of the meat and potatoes to the whole SMART goal deal. This is what helps you make sure this goal is accessible. And this is just information that I have in here. If your sheet looks like this, all you have to do is erase it, just like that. So if you pulled your sheet, it probably has something in it where I wrote something in it, like doing a workshop like I'm doing now. All you gotta do is erase it. Just click on it and erase it, and you can type in that space. So I want you to choose a goal, right? And if it's okay, because remember I said share it. So if you guys could go in the chat and just drop one of your goals. You can put as many as you want, but I'm asking for everybody to drop at least one goal in there, right? Drop a goal in there, right? This is the beginning of share it, right? You want to let people know what you're working on, right? You shouldn't be embarrassed about working on a goal, right? Unless it's something you shouldn't be doing, then don't share that. You know, I don't know everybody on here. So if it's something you shouldn't be doing, don't share. You like, you know what? I really want to rob a bank. We don't really need to know that. So keep that one to yourself. Yeah, let me see what we got here. What kind of goals we got here? I love it, Carmen. 10,000 a month. Pay off my mortgage in 8 years. Come on, guys. Good stuff. Good stuff. Getting more organized with digital tools. And I certainly know with 70 people, we got more than 3 or 4 goals going on here. Come on now, share. Y'all don't even want to share it on the group. What people that's shooting for goals. Come on. What y'all gonna do with Instagram and Facebook? Come on, there we go. Finish my 2 books. Good stuff. PC Pro by the 12th of every month. Pay off my car in 2024, December 15th. Specific. I like that, Stephanie. Change my diet. Absolutely. And Kendrick, I'm saying your last name, so I'll mess up your first name. When you say change your diet, I want you to put in your mind, don't even think about it as a diet. Think about lifestyle, right? Change your healthy lifestyle. Because if you tell yourself a diet, what's going to happen is you're going to think that at some point you need to get off of it. And if you just change your lifestyle as far as what you eat, how you eat, your portions that you eat, all those different things, change the nutritional things inside of what you eat. If you just make that a life deal, then you'll never feel like you need to get off of something or get back on it. And you'll just, your life will change, your physical will change, all of those things will change, right? I made a big health change in my life. Those that know me, I used to be 247 pounds and I went down to 200 pounds. Then I went back up to 210 because I felt like I was too small at 200. So I went to 210. But that little bit of weight from 247 to 210, that's only 37 pounds, guys. Like my entire life changed. My health changed, my energy changed, everything from just 37 pounds. So you don't have to lose 100 pounds for a life. I'm talking about 37 pounds, guys, I lost. I looked different, I felt different, I moved different, everything just for 37 pounds. And how did I do that? By changing my lifestyle. So you can do that very easily. Buying a 4-bedroom home, cash by August. What else we got here? 20,000 a month income, good stuff. Become a spiritual influencer to youth. Build a team in PPLSI and receive every ring level. Add 3 hours to my productivity day by waking up early in the morning. So you guys have some goals here. So what you're going to do is you're going to be very specific when you do your goals, right? So when it says at the top, initial goal, right? What is your initial goal, right? So for me, I'm gonna type some stuff in here for me as you guys type into yours or handwrite into yours over on your side. So when it comes to me, what I'm doing now is I am trying to get back into doing sales calls because I've been doing automation so long that I let my entire system do everything for me, right? And the good on that is I created that system doing that. The bad thing is I don't call nobody no more. Because I let them just click and buy and whatever that turns into. And I'm trying to get myself, because I took a course, I'm trying to get myself back into doing sales calls. So for me, right, when I write my goal here, what is my goal? My goal is to, right, start making more sales calls for my business. And I'm gonna get more specific on this, right? For my business. Maybe I should say for my coaching business. That's my initial goal. Now it says be specific, right? So when I say start making more calls for my coaching business, what exactly does that mean? That can mean a few different things, right? So I'm gonna put down some details, right? Make 50 calls daily, right? So now I'm gonna make 50 calls. I'm gonna make 50 calls daily, right? And 50 calls daily, if I do that 5 days a week, is 250 calls weekly, right? Now, let me stop here. So something that's very important that I need you guys to do when you're setting your goals as you're doing this. Only write goals that you can control the outcome of. Meaning that I didn't say I want to close 5 new clients a week because I don't have control over whether people are going to say yes, right? Put a 16 in the chat if that makes sense. But I do have control over how many calls I make. So you can have in the back of your mind that, you know what, I want to start doing 30 sales a month, right? That's great that you're saying that I want to make 30 sales a month. But what you want your goals to be based on is what activity is going to take to do that. And how are you going to find that out? By doing the activity. So if you make 50 calls a day and 30 days later, you've made 20 sales, you know that 50 calls a day generally is going to net you 20 sales, so that you know that you need to do 75 calls a day probably to get to 30 sales, right? Put a 17 in the chat if that makes sense. You have to let the results of your activity determine how much activity you do, because you'll disappoint yourself if you say, I want to make 5 sales a week, when you don't necessarily know what it takes to do that, because you're actually attempting to accomplish something that you don't know whether you can actually accomplish. And that will cause a challenge for you, because now you're disappointing, you're letting yourself down. And every small loss, right? Every little loss that takes a hit on your security, right? And knocks your insecurity levels down, right? You feel a little bit bad about yourself because you're taking these small losses. Every small win builds up your confidence. So what you really want to look at doing is saying, okay, how can I make sure I'm winning, even if it's small wins? You can't control who buys, but you can control who you reach out to. Fair to say? So 50 calls a day, 250 calls weekly, right? That's what I'm looking to do. So I say that's what I'm specifically going to do. Now, there's a lot of other things that I can do, but I'm putting an individual goal here. I do individual goals on each sheet so that I can now put my sheet on my board over my office desk here, and I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I may have 4 sheets up there, and that makes it 4 different things. And I say, okay, am I doing this, right? Am I accomplishing this? Because now I can course correct. And when it's a big goal and it's a bunch of things on one sheet, now you're trying to break these things apart and see what you're doing and what you're not doing. If you itemize, then you can really focus on what you're doing. So now it says, is the goal measurable? You should be able to tell when you reach that goal. Is this goal measurable, guys? Absolutely it's measurable, because it's 50 calls a day and 250 calls a week. That means that on Monday, when I finish my day, I can see that did I make 50 calls? If I made 45 calls, I can course correct. And I can say, okay, either time only permits me to make 45, or tomorrow I need to do 55 to catch up, because I'll let myself get distracted. And we'll talk about distractions here in a minute. That may have been what happened. I was distracted. And if I was distracted, that's how I come back from that, because I'm not waiting till it's too late, right? So let me see at 18 in the chat. If you have ran for goals before, check to see if you were hitting your goals 3 or 4 months later, 6 months later, realize that you're not even close, and then say, you know what? I'm going to try again next year. Why does that happen? Because you're trying to course correct when it's so big, you can't correct it. If you say I'm going to save $100 a month towards my vacation fund, and 6 months later, you say, I haven't saved anything, right? I haven't saved anything, but now I need to catch it up. I need to course correct. Oh, I don't have the extra money to course correct. I can't double up now 6 months into the year. I can't say I'm going to do $200 a month so that it's $1,200 over the next 6 months, because I can't afford that. Well, I'll just wait until next year and I'll start over. That's what happens. But if after month 1, you say, man, I didn't put that $100 up, because it's measurable. I didn't put the $100 up. Now you can say, let me divide this $100 that I didn't put up by 11, and that amount of money, whatever that dollar amount is, I'm going to add that to the $100 for every month. And now at the end of 12 months, I'm where I should be at, because you caught it, you course corrected, and now you did the math to add on to it. So now you say 100 divided by 11, whatever that dollar amount is. If that dollar amount was hypothetically $10, now next month you're going to put up 110. The next month, 110. And now what ends up happening is at the end of the year, you're at your 1,200. Does that make sense to everybody? This is why it needs to be measurable. Oh, hold on 1 second. My help done got kicked out. Let me get you back in, Shannon. All right, there we go. So that's what will happen. So you want it to be measurable. So is your goal measurable? So for me, it's measurable. So I can say yes. Right? Yes, it's measurable. So you can even break it down daily, guys. You can break your goals down hourly, daily, right? Reverse engineering. Break your goal down to the smallest compound, because the smaller you break your goal down as far as measurability, if that's a word, if you break it down that low, that means it's easier to course correct when it's time to course correct. Because it's so small that it's fixable. You guys follow that? It's the difference between saying, you know what? So like for me, it's the last example I'm gonna give you on this. When I'm driving my vehicle, in my vehicle, there's an option for me to see all 4 of my tires on my dashboard. So my car allows me to turn my dash to where it shows my vehicle, the 4 tires, and it shows how much, what the PSIs are in my air in my tires. So one day I picked a friend up and he says, "Why you got that on your screen?" I said, "Because I like to always know what how much air is in my tires, because if I ever run over a nail or get a slow leak, I want to see that on my screen. I don't want to wait until I get a flat. I don't want to be driving to get a flat. Right now, my car will even let me know if the air gets 4 or 5 PSIs lower. I don't even want to wait for that. If I see it on my screen and my tires are on 34 and I see one on 32, something's going on wrong there. I need to go get that tire patched, get it replaced, get something, right? So that's just an example. I can course correct. I'm always monitoring my tires, because if one of my tires go out, I can't move. Right? Especially if you're a woman, you don't want to be stuck somewhere. Now, I know you got AAA and your insurance got, but you know how that is, guys. It depends on what time it is and where you live. Some of y'all live in some little podunk town and you call AAA or you call your insurance, it's going to take 4 hours for them to get somebody out there where you at. So you don't want to be somewhere and get a flat tire. Like I can't stand the whole flat tire deal. So that's how I in my personal life, I make sure I can always see my tires. And it gives me the ability to course correct if something goes wrong. So the next one is achievable. Is this goal even achievable, right? Can you reach this goal taking into account your available time, skills, and finances? So you have to look at those things. And some of those may not even qualify for that particular goal, but they may. So I can say, do I have the time to make 50 calls a day? Now I have to look at my calendar and say, can I actually make 50 calls a day? Let me make 50 calls and see how long it takes me to do that. If I realize it takes me 2.5 hours, I now have to find that time on my calendar. And if I can't find that time, I have to now say, okay, I can't make 50 calls. I can only do 40 because time doesn't permit. What does that prevent, guys? Disappointment. Because you need to know what you can do. You can only do what you can do. So if you don't know what you can do, now you're expected to do more, and now you're disappointed because you're saying, man, I told myself I was going to do 50 calls, but I'm not doing it, because you didn't measure and check and say, okay, time doesn't allow me to do that. Let me do 40. Now, what are you doing? Every day, small wins. I made my 40 calls. I made my 40 calls. Not I didn't do my 50. Not I didn't do my 50. So here I'm going to say, yes, time permits. Right? Do I have the skill level? And where could that come into play with mine? Right? What my goals, the skill level, I have to have a skill level. So when you're making calls, there's a skill set to making calls, right? Put a 19 in the chat. Now, I know some of y'all just haphazardly making calls, and I know how it is. You got paper all over your offices. You got an appointment here, an appointment there. I've been there, right? You got stuff. You got yellow pads. You got white pad. You're trying to organize with color, the type of paper, all kind of stuff. There's a skill set to making calls. So what I learned, the best thing for me to do was to just make my calls and take my notes after, or make calls on Google Voice on my computer and use my calendar as a place that I take notes. So some of you guys saw me show you that when we did BAPS and some other trainings that some of you all have been on that I've done. I will call and I have my calendar up. And if I call Deborah, that's a call I had to make. After I make that call, I've got my calendar up. I just type in there what happened on that call, set the appointment when I'm gonna follow up again, and then the next person I'm gonna call, I'll pull them up on my calendar. So I have to factor in that method of calling to say, okay, because I do all of this at one time, 50 calls might take me 4 hours, but it's not because it takes 4 hours to make 50 calls. It's because I'm notating what's happening so that when I go to make calls on another day, I can do it effectively. Because this assessing is doing it the wrong way, right? So I want to do it effectively. So do I have in my time, in my schedule, 4 hours to make effective calls and note take properly, right? Do I have the skill set to have that set up, right? So I can say, yes, I do, right? On that. And then finances. So for calls, there wouldn't be any finances available, but let's say you were doing something like enrollments or something like you said, I'm going to double my ads, right? One of your goals was I'm going to double the amount of ads that I'm doing for my business. Well, if you're going to double your ads, then that's where finances will come in because do you have the money to double your ads until those convert into clients? Those are all things that you have to look at. So ask yourself, do I have the time? Do I have the skill set? And do I have the money to accomplish the goal that I'm looking to accomplish? Do I have those things? Right? The next one is realistic. Is your goal realistically achievable within the given time frame? Why is this so important? Because sometimes we set 90-day goals, but the goal will take us 6 months to complete. So the people who are going to be in this mastermind group that we're doing, right? I'm doing 3 one-hour appointments with each person for the mastermind group to make sure that they're only setting 90-day goals. You cannot have a goal that's more than 90 days because the mastermind group is set up so that when the 90 days is up, you have completed that goal. And you can't complete a 6-month goal in 90 days. So we have to make sure that that goal is accessible, that you can actually do it in 90 days, given what your schedule already is and given what you're going to replace in time, right? So you have to make sure that the time frame is correct. Because I did a video, so some of you guys saw the short little 8-minute video I did. If you say, I want to get a Bentley, right? I want a Bentley. Okay, that's fine. You want a Bentley? You want it in 30 days? Okay, that might be a problem. That might be a problem if you don't have the money for the down payment, if your credit score is not in the right place, if you haven't gotten rid of the car that you plan on replacing with that Bentley, if that's what you plan on doing. Right? There's a lot of things. There's research that needs to go into there. How do you want that Bentley to look? What features do you want on it? There's things that need to go into it. So sometimes we just get excited and it's like, you know what? I saw this new Bentley, right? I saw this new Porsche. I saw this new Cadillac, right? I saw this new whatever, Nissan or whatever it is you drive, whatever you like. I saw this new whatever, and I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that in the next 90 days. Not even taking into effect the process of getting to this specific thing. You may clearly not be able to do it in the amount of time that you have. Right? You guys follow that? So you want to make sure that it's realistic, right? So if I look at my goal of making 50 calls daily, right? Can I do that? Can I jump into doing that? Yes, because I already cleared my schedule. So of course, obviously, I've already done all of these things, so I know that that's accessible. But that will help you think about whether it is. And then the last one is timely, guys, right? Timely. You need to set a time that you're going to start and a time that you're going to finish. That needs to be evident. You need to have a start time and a finish time, whether it's today or Monday or whenever it is, and then you need to have a finish date. It's okay if you don't complete that goal. When I was running for my income levels in network marketing, I never hit my goal at the time I said I was going to hit it. It was always after, right? It was always, I set a goal and I hit it some weeks after or a month after, whatever. Man, when I ran for the $50,000 income level, I missed that goal 3 times. And then when I ran for the $100,000 goal level, the first time I missed it, the second time I got it early. You guys follow that? So you're going to miss. That's okay to miss. It's totally okay to miss. But you need to set a date because that shows seriousness and it lets people know, okay, this man, this woman is serious about what they're doing because they have a date. The people around me, my family, my friends know that when I'm doing something, it's like, it's serious, it's specific, everything is planned out, right? Everything is always planned out. Okay, this is when I'm planning on doing this. This is when I'm going to leave. This is when I'm going to come back because I believe in having a plan. So make sure you have a dead stop date. And again, always have a date that you can finish early. Always have a safety net date that you can finish afterwards so that you don't kill yourself with guilt if you don't finish it on that day. It is totally normal to not hit your goal on a date that you said. That's a normal thing. So I don't want anybody to feel differently. Lastly, it says SMART goal on the bottom. If the goal that you have at the top that says initial goal, if that goal still makes sense to you after going through the S, the M, the A, the R, and the T, then down here where it says initial goal, you're going to put my initial goal is still applicable. If it's not, you may need to change it. So let's say I decided after going through all of these steps that I could only make 40 calls a day because my time would only allow me to do that. Then down here in the bottom, I would say, right, my goal is changing to 40 calls per day, right? And I don't have to feel bad about that because time may not permit. So like for me, I don't have as much time as I used to because my 15-year-old, his mom got married 6 months ago and she moved to Atlanta. And now my 15-year-old lives with me. I was living by myself. So in the last 45 days, maybe 2 months, my 15-year-old son moved in. And then we moved my significant other from Virginia to Florida. So now I went from living by myself and having like total like reign of my schedule to now I have somebody I'm getting married to in 12 months living in the house with me. And I have my 15-year-old son living here. So with those things in place, my schedule has to change if I want her to stay here and him to stay here. Does that make sense? I have to change my schedule so that I can do the things that I need to do. So there's things that I can't do now that I used to be able to do, which means I had to change some of my goals, not because, right, something's wrong, nothing to be disappointed about, but I can't accomplish certain things in a certain time frame when there's new added things in my life. And you've got to be able to write those things down and understand that so that you don't feel guilty about it. So we're going to move into the action plans and all of that after the break. Give you guys a chance to get some water, get some coffee, stretch, do whatever you need to do here. And it's been a lot of information here over the last, because it's 12:40. So we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes. So it's been a lot of information. So if you guys feel like you're getting something out of this, put a 20 in the chat, right? Put a 20 in the chat. Nobody left yet, still at 71. So I guess everybody somewhat happy because y'all ain't going nowhere, right? You're still here. That means something, right? Good stuff. Good stuff. So we are going to take a 10-minute break, and I'm not going anywhere just yet. So if anybody has a question about anything, go ahead and unmute yourself, and we can do that while we're taking a break. I think I see, Jerry, are you talking? If you are, you're on mute.
We're coming back in 10 minutes?
We are.
Okay.
Yep.
All right,
10
thank you.
minutes. Yep. 12:50, guys. 12:50 Eastern time. Because I know some of y'all not, East Coast.
Hey, Coach, I switch on my devices. Can you make the other Shana Blah UC co-host? And then I got a quick question.
Where you at? Let me see. Let me see which one.
So there should only be one me on now.
Oh, you said there should only be one you?
Yeah, you should only see one Shana Blah on now.
Okay.
I have 2 devices on her.
I think I may have already made you a co-host.
Yeah, that was on my laptop, but I'm on the host. I don't have the laptop with me now.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it. I see what you're talking about. I got you. So,
yeah. So yeah, this is the one I needed. Yeah. But question while you do that, as you do your SMART goals like over the years, do you keep like a running tab so you could see like your progression, or do you refer back to a particular, if you feel like stuck on one particular new goal that you're working on, do you like refer back to maybe what you did with another goal that was like similar, to kind of like keep like a little folder tab of all your goals and refer back to them, reference them for anything?
I do, but I don't do it on that. So what I do is, I do it 2 ways, because actually, no, I do that, what you're saying. I do have the goal, I keep my goal sheets so that I can look back at them, but I also journal, which is really important for people to do. It's really important to journal because that really will help you see your own progress. And a lot of times it's like the rabbit cooking in the pot. We have gotten so far in life and don't realize it because it's such small increments that we just don't really realize that we moved up. We've advanced in life. And sometimes you have to journal, because if you go back and you look at 12 months ago, right? And you read your journal and you're like, man, this is where I was at. Because sometimes it's just not physical. Sometimes we think, well, I know I'm in a bigger house. Well, I know I drive a better car. Well, I know I have a better job. Those are visual things that we can probably tell. Sometimes it's where you're at mentally. You wouldn't believe that when you go back and look at a journal, what you wrote, what your mind state was at one time versus what it is today. You may have been in a depressed state. You may have been upset about something because you were going through something. And now that you've been through it a year now, you forgot that it happened. And you go back and read, you say, oh my God, I forgot I was even dealing with this then. And you start to feel proud of yourself because you're saying, you know what, I've been through a lot. I got through a lot. And then you look at what you've accomplished in that amount of time and you're saying, I accomplished this to this, even while I was dealing with this. Right? And it could be your spiritual goals. It could be you saying, you know what, I'm closer to God, or, you know, whatever you get close to, that's your creator that you feel like, whether it's the universe or whatever it is, you're feeling that way about those things. So journaling is very therapeutic, in my opinion. It's very therapeutic. I think journaling is worth the time. And they even have electronic ways to journal nowadays where you don't even have to have a physical journal. You can have it on your phone and you can speak it in, and you can even add photos and everything into the journal electronically. So I always encourage people to journal. Journal is a great way to scale your life, to track your life, and to look at where you've gotten to, and know, okay, I know that I can create this much increase in my life because I've done it before. So it becomes self-evident for yourself because you can look at what you've already accomplished. Definitely helps.
I love that. Thank you. That's
Yeah,
exactly the response here I wanted to hear. That's perfect. Thanks. I feel like sometimes we're very hard on ourselves. We feel like we're not getting anywhere when we start a new goal, but sometimes just going back and see that you're in this place you are now to even be setting that new goal is a huge blessing too.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And don't be afraid that when you don't, again, if you don't accomplish the goal, that's fine. Look at why you didn't. Don't just say, oh, I didn't meet my goal. Ask yourself why. Sometimes an emergency happens in your life. You know, it's like everybody know, like my bestie, you know, it's Sharanda. Sharanda has had some critical things happen in her personal life over the last few years, and she has missed some goals. But when when your mom is going in and out of the hospital, and your husband break his foot or his leg, and you got kids that you're dealing with stuff with, and that's what happens. I mean, you got life. Those that know me, I've got a daughter that has some challenges, like nothing that's her fault, just what life delivered, blows that life has delivered. And like, not only is she having to deal with them because she's the main person that has to deal with them because they're her issues and she's 27, but we have to deal with the stuff that she has to deal, and it interrupts certain things that are happening, but that's life. So you've got to identify why you didn't reach specific goals so that you can say, okay, no, that's good. I didn't do that because this happened and I didn't have control over that. That's why you got to track. Make sure you track. Dr. Griffin, what's up?
All is well. I'm glad you realize I'm here. As I sent a text over to Miss Larry to let her know I cannot type letters consistently. My computer is sticking, but I'm here. I can type numbers. So if you say put a number in the chat, I got you. I cannot. I had to print all the sheets off so I can write. So I just appreciate the opportunity. Great information, and I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to see everybody.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And most of what I'm gonna ask you guys to do is numbers, so you say. Most of it is gonna be right. Put a 20, put a 30, put a 40 in the chat. So good. Good. Now, so we got about 3 more minutes before we come back from the break. All right, guys, we're gonna get rolling here. All right, you ready to go? Put a 21 in the chat. Put a 21 in the chat. You guys ready to go? So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna start talking about the potential obstacles here and the distractions. So as we move to set goals, we're gonna run into some obviously some challenges, and the challenges that we're gonna run into are going to be there are going to be obstacles and hold on one second. There we go. There's going to be obstacles that we're going to have to face, and we need to be able to solve those. And we're going to need to create action items to do certain things. So that's what we're going to look at here, because part of setting goals is what most of us do. We set goals, and then we say, okay, I want to do this. Well, then after they say they want to do this, they don't actually create any action items to go along with that so that they start to progress in hitting that goal, whether it be a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, it doesn't matter. They need to start steps. So what we're doing here is on this same sheet, on the bottom, you can put your action items, right? So I'm gonna put the action I have just so you guys see kind of what I'm doing here. So for an action item, so it says here, start making more calls for my coaching business. That's my initial goal, right? So I said I'm gonna make 50 calls a day. So the action item that I'm gonna put first is going to be, and this is for my goal, so you have to do this right for your particular goal, it's gonna be, what do I need in order to make 50 calls a day? I need prospects, right? I'm gonna need at least 250 prospects a week to make 50 calls a day. So I may say action item, identify my 250 prospects weekly. That may be what I'm gonna need to do. And then it's gonna say, it says expected completion date. So when am I gonna have this done? Again, we're being specific so that it doesn't linger. And we don't say, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. We all know that tomorrow is not a day a week and it's not a day on your calendar. So you have to have an expected completion date. And again, this chart is set up because we know you're not always going to land on your goal. So I say my expected completion date for this is going to be 08/08/2022. That's my expected completion date, which would be Monday, right? Now, when Monday gets here, if it's done, then I'm going to put in here 8/8/2022. Let's say, for instance, when Monday comes, I say, well, I got 100 prospects for the next 2 days, but I don't have 250. Well, I haven't completed it then. So I'm gonna leave that blank. Now, if it takes me until Wednesday to get all 250 prospects, now I'm gonna put here, right? Because I'm tracking, I'm making sure I understand where I've been. So if it took me to the 10th, I'm gonna put that. So now when I go back and look at this sheet, I can say, okay, I identified my 250 prospects. I set a date of doing it by the 8th, but I actually didn't get it done until the 10th. It's just good for me to know that when I'm scaling my business, you know, what I did and what I didn't do, like what promises I kept for myself. And this is why it's so important to have an accountability partner. Because if me and Sharon are accountability partners, then she's got my goal sheet and I have hers. And now we can get on the call and I can say, Sharon, hold on one second, guys. Let me see. Did somebody say something by mistake? Or was somebody saying something and I missed it?
I think someone just got unmuted by mistake.
Okay, all right. It looks like they muted back. Okay, so if I'm workout partners with Sharon, and we agree to hold each other accountable, and I say, hey, send me over your goal, your SMART goal sheet, and I'm gonna send you over mine. And now we're talking daily. We say, look, first thing in the morning from 7 to 7:30 in the morning, we're gonna talk every morning just to make sure we know what our day gonna be like. Because me and Sharon can be in two totally different businesses. We could be in the same business or we could be in different businesses and still hold each other accountable, right? So she may have a whole nother day of activities that she's doing versus me. And now she's saying, oh, so did you get 250 prospects? No, I don't got them yet. That's probably gonna take me until Wednesday, but I do have 100 prospects ready. So I know I can make calls Monday and Tuesday because I'm making 50 a day and I got 100 prospects. So now Sharon may say on Tuesday or Wednesday morning when we talk, oh, so you made your calls Monday and Tuesday. But like you said, you didn't have the rest of your prospects. Did you get the rest done? Oh, yeah, I got the other 150 done. Now I got 250. So I can make my calls Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I should have my other 250 prospects by next week, Monday, when I start to make my phone calls, right? Now I've got Sharon holding me accountable to my action items. And then we'll get into where we're going to put these action items on your calendar. So that you're doing them. So we're going to get to that part too. But before we get to that, we need to make sure that we deal with the obstacles and the resolution to those obstacles and the distractions so that our workflow does not get compromised. So here I've got identify my 250 prospects weekly. That's it. You're going to have a different action item for yourself. Now the question is, what could possibly happen, right? What kind of obstacle could happen that I couldn't get those 250 prospects, right? Something could happen. And I need to put, based on my past experiences or what I know could possibly happen, I need to put those potential obstacles, if they really are potential obstacles, because what does that do? That allows you to come up with a resolution for it in case it happens so that it doesn't interrupt your workflow, right? So let's say that somebody says, I'm going to do an enrollment Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, right? And Sharon, I'm gonna mess with you again because I know you've been that busy, right? So I'm gonna mess with Sharon. She's got an enrollment. Now, for anybody that knows that have anything to do with any kind of enrollments in front of people, right? You're going somewhere to show up to talk to a group of people. If you got an enrollment every day, man, you got to get all of that straightened out the week before, because when your weeks are flowing, you can't be trying to figure out whether you got a confirmation, if I'm buying lunch, how many people are going to show up. You can't do that when this is all rolling out. This has got to be done the latest, right? The Friday before all of this is happening next week. That's how I see it. That's how it was when I was that heavy into enrollments, right? So Sharon may say on her sheet, right, I'm doing one enrollment a day, one enrollment daily. Well, what is a potential obstacle? They could cancel. The amount of people that they say were showing up could not show up, right? So if that could happen, she's got to prepare for that. She got to be able to prepare for that. So what happens if somebody cancels? What do I do if somebody cancels on this? How do I prevent that from happening? Confirmation. See, this now creates an idea in Sharon's head that says, you know what? I'm going to create a confirmation email that I send out to the companies that I'm talking to. And I need all 5 companies this week for next week to confirm the appointment on that day and how much time I have. Because something else that can happen to Sharon is they can say 30 minutes. And then when she gets to do her presentation, they can say, oh, we ran late. We ran over. You only got 10 minutes. But Sharon might need 30 minutes. She might literally need 30. Right? So how does she deal with that obstacle if she knows that can happen? Sharon may have a real gentle email, right? That says, it is imperative that I have 30 minutes for my enrollment. If for any reason I cannot have 30 minutes, can I please reschedule because I cannot do my enrollment in less time? Now she doesn't waste her time going somewhere to do an ineffective enrollment. Does that make sense? Because she has identified this is something that could happen. And if it does happen, this is what I do, but I can avoid this from happening by having something in place, an email that they get ahead of time once they confirm that says, hey, my presentation is very specific and I actually need to have 30 minutes from start to finish to do my presentation and enroll. If for any reason I can't do 30 minutes, can you please let me know ahead of time? And then I can just reschedule if that's an option that Sharon has. If that's the case, now she's dealt with that. Now that doesn't affect her workflow, because now she gets an email on Wednesday that says, hey, we've been going over every day this week with our enrollments. So we probably not gonna be able to guarantee you 30 minutes tomorrow. Is there another day that you can come in? Now Sharon can pick another day and then use that day to do something else in her business. Whether it be another enrollment she can schedule, do some downtime work. Now she's not going somewhere and her workflow is messed up because she showed up to an enrollment that she could have rescheduled to do an ineffective enrollment. Does that make sense? Put a 22 in the chat if that makes sense. This is about preparing so that somebody else does not disappoint your workflow. Whether it be that the prospect, the customer, or something going on in your personal household. So for me, right, 50 calls a day. My son has a job. My son works for a supermarket. We take him to work. We split. I take him, his mother takes him, well, his mother doesn't now because she doesn't live here anymore. But between me and his grandmother, we take him to work. There's a rule. We've got a boundary. The boundary is my son has to let us know by Tuesday what his work days are, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or if not, he has to use his money to Uber or take a Lyft. Because what you're not going to do on my Friday while I'm working is say, oh, I forgot to tell you I had to work. Can you take me to work? No, I can't, son. I love you, but I'm not going to stop my business to take you to work because that is your fault that you did not have your schedule set up. Because he's 16 years old. He's old enough to have that figured out. So every Tuesday we get a text, a group text, and it shows his schedule. You guys follow that? Because I don't want that to be a distraction because it's happened before. So we had to put that rule in place. Same thing for yourself. Once you create your action items of what you need to do to accomplish your goal, now you're going to say, what could possibly go wrong with these action items? What could prevent me from making 50 calls a day? What could prevent me from doing an enrollment every day? Right? I got an enrollment every day this week. Man, that sounds real good. Could anything prevent this from happening? What could go wrong? Right? Could I get a flat tire? Could I run out of ink in my printer when I'm making my packages? Right? All of those things. And what does that allow you to do? Let me check my printer and make sure I've got ink or I've got ink cartridges to replace it with. Right? Kick the tires on my vehicle because I'm going to drive an hour away 5 days a week for an enrollment. So what should I be doing the weekend before? Getting that oil change, get my tires rotated. That may seem like somebody else that you being extra. No, I'm not being extra. I'm making sure that the goal that I said I can hit. Because let me tell you something, if this happened to you before, if you were ever going to do an enrollment or do some business somewhere that was worth hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, and you got a flat on the way, boy, you don't forget that. Because it prevented you from making that money. Not only did it prevent you from making money, but you had to spend money to fix the problem that you had. When it could have been something that you prevented in the first place because you was prepared for it. So that's why having your action items in place makes a lot of sense. So moving on, right? So potential obstacles and come up with a solution on, right? That's what you're going to do with your action items. So this is what this sheet is for. And there's also in the package that you guys received, a full sheet of nothing but obstacles and a full sheet of nothing but solutions, because these right here aren't enough, right? This is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 action items here. But you've also been given an entire sheet with nothing but action plan, action items on there so that you can use. And then you got a whole sheet by itself of potential obstacles, because I want you to create a situation so that you don't have that workflow issue. And I also want you to use that pink sheet that says potential obstacles to put down any distractions that could possibly happen. Do you have a special needs child, right? Do you have a needy family member that could distract you? Do you have little ones at the house that, like grandkids or kids that's just so little that you can't control? Like a 2-year-old is a 2-year-old. You can't, there's only so many boundaries you can set for a 2-year-old, right? When my granddaughter comes over here, it's like, I gotta just follow her. That's it. Because I can't say don't touch nothing in the house, because that's not gonna happen. She's gonna touch everything she can get her hands on, she's gonna grab. So if I'm not monitoring her, she's going to do what she wants to do. So you have to understand that certain things are just a distraction. And I need you in your mind to understand that I'm calling it a distraction because we're all here talking, but don't do that in your regular life. My significant other is not a distraction. That's disrespectful, right? My kids aren't distractions. That's disrespectful. Most of the distractions in our life are there because we didn't deal with the problem in the first place. Yes or yes? Put a 23 in the chat. Most of us who have a distraction, right? My kid keeps saying, if your kid keeps saying they're hungry, why you ain't fed your kid? If your child is hungry, then you should have fed your child before you got on that Zoom, right? Is that fair to say? So sometimes when you're saying it's a distraction, it's because you didn't handle your business in the first place, right? So right now it's a Saturday afternoon and I'm doing this Zoom, right? You know why my significant other is not saying, hey, you work too much. Why you ain't here doing the Zoom? You know why? Because we got date night tonight. It's on the calendar. She knows that it's date night tonight. She in here getting ready for it, as a matter of fact, right? So because she knows that we have date night tonight. I have my work on my calendar and I have our life on the calendar. Does it make sense? So if I don't do what I should, then life is going to demand that it gets done whenever it demands it. And then that's going to now start calling that a distraction. So one way to eliminate your distractions is do what you should be doing in the first place. Have your calendar set up to take care of the stuff you should be taking care of. I can't believe I got a flat tire on the way to that enrollment. When the last time did you even check your tires? Why, anybody ever run out of gas before? How you do that? I ran out of gas. You mean to tell me you wasn't looking at the meter that's on your dashboard? That's all you can see when you drive, right? And you ran out of gas. So you upset at who? Who you upset with? Because you didn't put gas in your car, right? Because you didn't handle your particular business. So I learned this a long time ago from one of my mentors. Where you're at in life right now is based on every decision that you made before today. It's not nobody else's fault. Even if you're saying this person in my life caused this problem, guess who let them in your life? You did. And if they're still there, whose fault is that? Yours. So it's never anybody else's fault that you're dealing with stuff for the most part, right? There can be circumstances, but for the most part, it's not. Right? Is that fair? Put a 23 in the chat. All right. So I'm gonna talk about something else real quick. We got the action plan, we got the potential, obstacles, resolution. So let's talk about getting these items on your calendar, right? So time blocking and time boxing. So I'm gonna unshare real quick here. Well, no, actually, I'm not gonna unshare. I'm gonna pull this down. Hold on. Get rid of this. That's really what I need to do. All right, so time blocking and time boxing. So I want you guys to know the difference between the two before we get started here. So time boxing is you knowing exactly how much time you need to do a specific thing. So if you ever hear somebody say time boxing on their calendar and time blocking. So if I have a meeting, right, with Susan, and the meeting is scheduled for 2 hours, then I have a time box on my calendar for a 2-hour meeting. That's a box. That means, right, I've made it. I know when it's going to start and when it's going to stop. Blocking is just blocking your calendar for a specific amount of time. Let me give you an example. So when I travel, normally the day before I go anywhere, I block my calendar for the entire day. I don't block it from 9 to 11. I don't block it from 12 to 3. I block it for my work hours. So if somebody wants to schedule an appointment with me, they can only schedule between 9 in the morning and 9 at night. That's all my calendar allows you to schedule. So if I know I'm traveling on Friday, on Thursday, I block my calendar from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So nobody won't set appointments because I know I need the whole day ahead of time to prepare to go out of town. Does that make sense to everybody? So I'm blocking my calendar so people won't set an appointment. Boxing is I have a 2-hour appointment with somebody. I have a time box to make a call. So for those that are in Legal Shield, for an example, right, they have on Tuesdays a blitz for 2 hours where you can make phone calls in your business along with other people in the company. If you went to your calendar, and this is Eastern time I'm going to use, and I said from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, I'm going to make calls, you're not blocking your calendar. You're doing a time box of 2 hours from 11 to 1. And in that 2 hours, you're gonna dedicate that to make phone calls. Yes or yes? Put a 23 in the chat if that makes sense. So now we're talking about putting your action items on your calendar so that you can utilize these things to get through your day. So make sure I'm being timely here. Okay, so this is me just like if I was putting something here, but I'm gonna go to some things that's probably I'll bring on my calendar. It would probably be easier if I do that. So let me go to, oh, you know what? Let me stay right here. I use right here. Okay, so if you know you've got something to do, you want to get it on your calendar. So now you're going to take the action items that you have, right, on your sheet, your SMART goal sheet. So remember I said I'm going to do 50 calls a day. Well, if 50 calls a day is going to take me 4 hours because I'm notating in my calendar. Remember I mentioned that? And I say that's what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to say, okay, I'm making calls from and I'm gonna do a hypothetical where some empty space at, right? Just for an example, I'm gonna do from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, right? So I'm gonna click on that, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit more options, and I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna go through my calendar, and I'm gonna put all my action items so that I'm forced, not forced, but I'm led correctly to hit my goals, because all the items that it takes to hit those goals, I am now putting them on my calendar. So day for day, I'm doing these items, which means over that 60-day period, that 90-day period, however long my goal is for, I can now accomplish that goal by taking little bites of that apple, right? So I said I need to make 50 calls a day, which is 250 calls a week. How am I doing that? I'm gonna say call time, right? And I'm gonna put my daily 50 calls, right? So I'll put that on my calendar. And this is why it's important. So for those who have been with me for long enough to hear me say, move away from paper calendars, right? I know 12-week year. I know that there's other trainers that talk about a paper calendar. At the end of the day, do whatever you need to do for yourself. But I'm gonna give you some reasons why I think using a paper calendar is slowing you down. Now, if you're saying I'm weaning, I'm going from paper to electronic, I'm getting there, man, congratulations. But I can prove to you that if you are strictly using a paper calendar, that you are moving slower than you should be, right? So if you have a paper calendar and you're gonna make 50 calls a day all year, well, guess what? You're gonna have to handwrite that on your calendar. 50 calls a day, 50 calls a day. Now, if you like that kind of mundane stuff, then you go right on ahead, right? I don't know what to tell you about that, but I like being able to put things on my calendar and click daily, click repeat, and let it repeat on its own, right? So I can say my call time is gonna be 50 calls, right? 50 daily calls. That's the title. It's gonna be from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock because it's gonna take me 4 hours. And if I switch to different times and different days, I can do that. But right now I'm gonna show you if I was just doing it at the same time every day, just to make it simple for everybody, right? And I say, I am going to do this on Monday. I'm sorry, Monday the 8th, I should have did. I say on Monday the 8th from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, right? I'm gonna make 50 calls. That's my 4-hour time block that I need. And then I said, well, let me click does not repeat. And now let me say, I'm gonna do it, either I'm gonna do it weekly on Monday, or I'm gonna do it monthly on the second Monday, annually. I can do it custom, but it always gives me this option that says every day, Monday through Friday. Because that's pretty common. Those are the business days, right? So I click that, and now I have it Monday through Friday from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. I've got my calls there. Now I can do some other particulars, right? Say me and Sharon are calling together. Me and Sharon is saying, I'm making insurance calls. And I say, I'm making real estate calls, but we're going to both hold each other accountable and both be making calls at the same time because we found that time in our schedule. I can go right here and I can say Sharon, right? And I can add Sharon to this and she can add me to hers. And now I get a notification, right? And me and Sharon both are on the same calendar for this particular item, right? I'm gonna take you off, Sharon, so that you don't get my notification. So, right? So I can do that. Now down here, no location because I'm calling from home, right? Right? No Zoom, no none of that. I'm gonna add a notification as a reminder. So I may say, I want to remind myself 10 minutes before it's time to make those calls. And I also want to alarm myself 1 hour before I make those calls. Put that on my calendar. Now I'm going to color code it. So it shows on my calendar that same. So I may say phone calls are a sense of urgency for me. So I'm going to make that tomato red, right? You can also change those colors. You can put your own colors in there if you want to, right? But that's another training for another day. Now, in the description, all I'm going to put is, I'm just going to cut and paste the same thing. Now, you can put whatever you want here, but for me, I'm just going to cut and paste that same thing there. Those are my dials. So I got it Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. I have it on there daily. I can click save for that particular calendar item. And then I can go to Monday the 8th and look 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. If I look at my calendar by the week, right? You see that? It's there. And it's there every week, not just this week. So if I move this, if I click this, now I'm in September, now I'm in October, now I'm in November, it's still showing that same thing. So those calls are on my calendar. And that's what you want. You want to have those calls on your calendar set so that you know to do it. So it doesn't matter what it is that you're scheduling. Put it there. Have a time for it so that's on your calendar. Now you fill your calendar. Now let me explain the buffer box to you guys so you'll know how to use it so that you can course correct. So I'm gonna go to Saturday. And on Saturday, you see this yellow buffer box. Put a 24 in the chat if you see that yellow buffer box, 12 to 3. So what that is let's say all week long, I've got my calendar filled with stuff. Every week I've got calls at this time. I got Zooms I'm doing. I got prospecting I'm doing. I've got clients that I'm working with, whatever your day consists of. You want to have a buffer box somewhere on your calendar to give you time to fix what's broken, right? Course correct. So let's say I say I'm gonna make 4 hours of calls every day, like I just showed you all. Let's say that it's taking me 30 minutes more than I originally scheduled this week because people are answering the phone. I'm talking to more people, so I end up going 20 minutes over here, 30 minutes over there. Let's say that that's what's happening, right? Let me get this person right there. I'm sorry. So if that happens, now what happens? I get freaked out about it. I'm like, oh man, I'm going over, I'm messing up my schedule. You don't have to do that. That's what the buffer box is for. So let me tell you how I use this. If I say I'm going to the gym and it's going to be 2 hours, 20 minutes to the gym, 20 minutes back, I'm going to get on the treadmill to warm up, and then I'm going to work out for an hour. Let's say that I have that on my schedule. Let's say I run into traffic, something else happens to some equipment I want to use, somebody else is on. Let's say it takes 2 hours and 30 minutes at the gym. I'm off 30 minutes. So if something else that needs to be done can't be done because I spent 30 extra minutes in the gym, I throw it inside my buffer box so I can get to it later on. So let's say I had a 30-minute Zoom that I'm supposed to be doing with somebody. And I say, you know what? Let me see if I can move this Zoom with this person that I'm doing to another day because now I'm running behind. Because I want to course correct this as fast as possible because I don't want my Monday to roll over into my Tuesday, to roll over into my Wednesday. And now Friday, all I'm doing all day Friday instead of doing what's on my calendar is playing catch up for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Anybody ever dealt with that before? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I'm off 30 minutes. How can I correct that? Even if it was an hour. Let's say I was off an hour. It's Monday. It's the end of the day. I'm off an hour. Okay, what can I do? How can I fix that? I'm going to catch up tomorrow because I'm going to take something that's on my calendar for tomorrow that's not a sense of urgency and say, this hour-long deal that I have to do so that I get back on track, I'm going to throw it in my buffer box for Saturday and I'm going to do it then. So let's say it was something that I was doing that have nothing to do with anybody else. It's just something on my calendar for me to maybe go over my finances. Maybe I say, I'm gonna go over my finances from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock on Tuesday night, just to make sure everything is good on my finances and on my budget. That's what I'm doing. That's something that I can move to Saturday, right? And not be an end of life deal. I'm gonna go to my buffer box here. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna click edit. And it's 12 or 3 o'clock. This is empty space. That means I can do whatever I want with it. It's on my calendar. Nobody can block nothing there. Nobody can make an appointment there. So this is free time for me. I can go down here and say, spend 1 hour going over finances, right? I could simply do that, right? And then click save and it's in there. Or let me show you what else I can do. Let me show you what else I can do. I can move something into the box. So let's say this workout up here. You guys see this blue workout? Let's say this blue workout is what I was going to move. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to do this workout here. I'm going to put it inside the buffer box because I ran behind on some stuff. So I'm going to do it in my free time. All I need to do is grab it and pull it right to my buffer box and drop it in there. And now it's in there. I moved an item that I didn't have the time to do inside my buffer box. And now I'm like, okay, no more stress. I'm back on target because the empty space that I created for myself, right? I gave myself that recess to say, if I fall behind, that's what I'm gonna use it for. If you don't fall behind on anything, guess what you got? You got a buffer box full of free time. You can do what you want, right? Draw, look at the sky, play with your kids, go for a walk, do whatever you want to do with the time. Take a nap, I don't care, whatever you want to do. But you've got that time to do whatever you want to do with it if you don't use it to course correct during the week. So that'll help you get through those goals. When you get a really packed calendar, you start falling behind, don't get stressed out, stay on task. Just move something, drop it in the buffer box, and go back to your schedule like you're normally doing and stay on task. And you can decide how big your buffer box is. I have 12 to 3 because in my personal life, normally 4 hours is the most that I'll fall behind during the week. You might need 6 hours. You might only need 2 hours. So you create your buffer box based on whatever your circumstance is. Is that fair? So you're going to use your calendar in that way when you're doing that specific, when you're doing those specific things. So get your action items on your calendar. Now, let's talk about breaks and naps. Because for the people, and if you're younger than 40, you probably like, I know how it is. I sleep when I die. I know all the sayings. Guess what? I almost died. I sleep. I get, let me tell you something. I get 7 hours a day and I get a nap every day. I don't care what you got to say about it. I take a nap 7 days a week. 7 days a week. When my significant other called me from work, she like, you take your nap yet today? Because she know what my attitude gonna be like if I don't. She trying to make sure I'm set up. She like, I'll take your nap before I get home. Because I don't want to be looking at you looking all crazy because you ain't took no nap and you've been up since this morning, right? So I take a nap daily. And I'll show you the form I sent you guys, the Nappuccino. I'll explain that to you. That's just one form of a nap, a power nap that you can take. But breaks, guys, are just as important as whatever you're working on. And don't ever forget that. So if you're working on doubling your business, if you're working on your marriage, if you're working on putting your kids in a better position, if you're working on going to school to get a higher degree to increase your business, increase your career at your 9 to 5, just as important as those things is the breaks that you take leading up to that. So I always put time on my calendar to give myself a break between appointments. And I always do something called 1.5, right? I'll 1.5 everything. What does that mean? That means that if I have decided that it's going to take me, remember I said the gym. So if I say it's going to take me 20 minutes to get to the gym, 20 minutes to get back, which I'm probably going to factor as 30 minutes because it's traffic and you just don't ever really know. I say 30 minutes to get to the gym, 30 minutes to get back. That's an hour. I'm going to work out for an hour. That's 2 hours. What am I going to block on my calendar? Not 2 hours. I'm going to do 1.5, which means 2 times 1.5, which ends up equaling what? 3. I put 3 hours on my calendar because I need break time. And that break time might be a 30-minute break before I do that and a 30-minute break after I do that. You guys follow that? So you need to have those breaks in your calendar. And that's what the Pomodoro technique does. So you guys have that download for the Pomodoro technique. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it real quick and open it. Just, I think I am. Let me see. Am I? Is that what I'm going to do? Let me see. Can I open it up here? All right, there we go. And the Pomodoro technique will help you do that. The Pomodoro technique is and I think I was talking to, I want to say Cheryl Houston. And Cheryl Houston, if you can unmute yourself real quickly, because you were doing the Pomodoro technique and you weren't even actually doing it because you were doing it from this. You were just kind of doing it, right?
Well, I took one of your trainings and when you mentioned it, I started implementing it.
And has it been helpful for you?
Yes, it has.
Guys, I use this myself on a day-to-day basis. And you don't have, and what me and Cheryl talked about is we talked about the advanced Pomodoro, where you don't necessarily have to do 25 minutes of work, 5-minute break, 25 minutes of work, 5-minute break. You can do 52 minutes of work, 17-minute break. The whole idea of a Pomodoro is to create a workflow for yourself. So if you know that after 35 minutes of work, you need a break, then don't do 25-5. Do 35-7 or 8. Do 35-10. Right? So that you get a good workflow of 35 minutes. And also don't stop working if you got something that you're finishing that's going to take you 2 or 3 minutes to finish. Right? So if you're working on something and your timer goes off and says your 25 minutes is up, if you got another 3 or 4 minutes of work to do, go ahead and get it done. and take that 5-minute break. Even if it's you checking your emails, even if it's you sending a text message to somebody who you ignored because you were working, right? Because you said, I'm not going to answer text messages while I'm working. Even if it's you filling up your water jug, going to heat up a snack, right? Going to your patio or your balcony or wherever you're at, walking outside and getting some fresh air, but take a break. Don't go into another work task for your 5-minute break, because that's not taking a break. Taking a break means take a break from your work for that 5 minutes and then go back to it. You wouldn't believe how refreshing that is. Pomodoro technique really does work, and it really does give you the breaks that you need in between, right? Not gonna go into all the science and things behind it right now, but I would definitely implore you to take those breaks and start doing the Pomodoro technique. So I sent you guys this. So if you're saying, well, how do I do it? This will let you know how to do it. It's a 2-page resource guide. It lets you know exactly how to do it, right? 6 steps to a successful Pomodoro session. So all you gotta do is take this, take a look at it, and it'll help you out with that, right? I also gave you all something else in that pamphlet that I'm gonna pull up that has to do with the calendar that you guys just looked at here a minute ago. Let me see. Hold on, I left my account. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Here's the sheet that I sent you guys called Calendar Hacks. It was the last email that you guys, some of you guys have it because I sent it to you before, but I sent it to you guys just about 15 minutes before we started. I sent another email out because I knew people were ready to get on. So you should see an email that's got it's got 3 documents right at the top of it that you can download. And one of them is going to be your calendar hacks. And it's going to show you certain things on how to set stuff up on your calendar if you're using Google Calendar. If you're not using Google Calendar, then this is not going to help you. This is strictly for Google Calendar, what I'm going to show you. So I'm going to pull it up here, but you guys all have it on your own here that you can take a look at and kind of work through. So let me see, calendar. Sorry, my computer is moving slow. All right. So the calendar hacks is just showing you some different settings and things you can do to your calendar so that you can work a little bit better at ease here. So if you scroll down to the second page, it shows you how to modify your calendar, modify the Google Calendar events, how to display multiple time zones on your Google Calendar, how to set secondary time zones. So I do a lot of business on the West Coast. So I have the West Coast time zone on my calendar right next to the East Coast. That way I can look at, I'm always seeing what time it is on the West Coast, right? I know some people are just thinking, well, I know it's 3 hours. I don't need to see that. But when I'm setting appointments, that's a reminder to me sometimes when I'm setting something. That's why we did this at 11 o'clock today, because it's people from the West Coast on here and I didn't want it to be earlier than 8 o'clock for them. So whenever I do a weekend deal in the morning, I always set it at 11 as opposed to earlier, because I don't want people on the West Coast to have to get up too early. I also have on here where, you know, on different suggestions that you can do in your calendar in the settings. I'll show you how to get there and do that. And then this is how to receive your daily agenda, which is really important, because once you pack your calendar out, you can have Google, you can do it whether you have your calendar is packed or not, but you can have Google email you your daily agenda every morning at 5 a.m. And now when you get up and start working, you can go to your email, click it, and now Google has given you a print off of what you have scheduled today. Does that make sense? So those are some things that you can do as well with Google Calendar, and that shows you how to do it so that I don't have to necessarily go into it. Well, the sheet that I give you guys, I want to make sure you guys have. I want to make sure you guys had access to. Oh, the Nappuccino, right? So the Nappuccino sheet. And a Nappuccino is actually, let me go here and get it. So the Nappuccino is something that Daniel Pink came up with. And a Nappuccino is a 25-minute power nap. So I'm gonna give you a quick explanation of it. Generally speaking, a power nap is about 25 minutes, and that's because you only need about 17 minutes to sleep, right? For a power nap. The other 7 minutes or whatever, 7 to 8 minutes, is used for you to fall asleep, right? So if you do a Nappuccino or a power nap daily, it will really refresh you. So this is the science behind a Nappuccino. The idea, and it's all defined here on this one pager, and you have this as well. And if you don't have any of these, you can't find them, let me know. I can drop the link in the chat and you can click it and it'll open up and then you can download it. The Nappuccino is set up for you. If I say that, because typically about 7 to 8 hours after you wake up in the morning, you start to go down. How many people felt that before? You start to go down. You're like, getting a little bit slow, starting to get slower, starting to get tired, starting to get a little bit, right? You start to go down. And sometimes we fight it. We drink an energy drink or we do whatever. And it's best to take a nap if you can. If you can't take a nap, I understand that sometimes your circumstances don't allow you to, but understand companies as big as Google and Facebook and some other big companies, they literally have nap rooms inside of their corporate office so that they encourage their employees to take naps throughout the day because they're doing so much brain work, right? So this is what happens here. When you go to take your power nap, you're supposed to drink the caffeine of your choice before you take it. So me, I drink coffee, right? I normally do black coffee with honey. That's how I drink my coffee. I don't put anything in my coffee but local honey. So I'll make a cup of coffee, put my local honey in it. I drink the cup of coffee. When the cup of coffee is done, then I lay down for my 5-minute power nap. As ridiculous as that sounds. And the reason why that works because the caffeine takes 25 minutes to activate in your system. So you can lay down after that cup of coffee because it hasn't activated yet. So when you lay down and take your 25-minute nap, guess what magically happens? You wake up 25 minutes later, if you set your alarm clock, right, your timer or whatever, you wake up at 25 minutes and you wake up high energy because you just got a little bit of rest plus the caffeine just kicked in. And that's why they call it a Nappuccino. So whether you use an energy drink, whether you have a natural energy source, like I also do beet powder. So I buy beet powder, and with that beet powder, what it does is beet powder is natural energy. So I can take my shaker, put the beet powder in there, some water, shake it up, put some ice in there, and I can drink that, and that gives you natural energy without the caffeine. So if you don't use caffeine, that's fine. Whatever energy source you're going to use, take that energy source, go ahead and take your 25-minute nap, give it a try, wake up, right? Wash your face, brush your teeth. You're going to have brand new energy. So now it's somewhere between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, and you high energy again. And it really does help you get through your day. So the Nappuccino will help you do that. So you have that there as well. And I have one more, but I'm not going to use that one yet. Well, no, I guess I can go ahead and show that one to you now. Let me go ahead and pull this one up so that you guys can look at this real quick.
Mr. Number, I'm so sorry for being late. I was called into my job.
Oh, that's fine. Cool. Yeah,
I wish I never went in.
I don't do that. I need you to keep that job now. I need you to keep that job. That's good. Glad you're here.
Hey, Mr. Number.
Yes.
There was a question in the chat. Sorry, I'm not sure if you had already responded.
Oh, no, I didn't. Who was it?
With Gwendolyn Fairley Smith. She wanted to know, how do we set the calendar for people to request an appointment?
I don't have time to go into that because there's a few steps to go into that. Like you have to set that up. So that's something I can answer offline. I can make the time to answer it offline, but I don't have time to show that here because there's some setting things that you have to do that. But you can do that. And I don't know what kind of calendar you have, but if you have Google, there's a way for you to allow people to set appointments on your calendar through Google. Like they can go on there themselves. But again, it's a few steps to do that, and I don't have that factored into this training to be able to do it. But if you contact me offline, Gwen, I can show you how to do it because there's definitely a way to do it. Absolutely. I am trying to pull up.
I'm confused. What is this about?
This training? It is a goal setting training.
Okay. Amen. I need some goal setting. Big time.
I am looking for a particular, let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Sorry, guys. I thought I was gonna have this ready, but let me see. I think this is, okay, this is it right here. All right, so this is something else I'm not gonna go into detail on, but you have it. I just wanted to explain what it is so that you understand why you're using it. So for those who joined us for BAPS, if you were with us for BAPS, put 25 in the chat. That was a training that Sharon, Larry, Ariel Simone, myself, and Harold Branch did. And we had just such an awesome time. I know some of you guys were in BAPS because I can see y'all. But if you were in BAPS, put 25 in the chat. So part of us being in BAPS, we talked about when it's a good time to do stuff. Because it's one thing to say, I'm putting these things on my calendar, I'm making calls in the morning, I'm getting up in the morning, I'm going to the gym. It's one thing to have your action items. It's another thing to know when you should do them. So there's certain things that are like, I'm not a person that goes to the gym in the morning. A lot of people get up in the morning and they go to the gym first and they're like, it gives me energy, I get it out the way. I don't go to the gym in the morning. I go to the gym in the evening. So everybody's body and mind works differently. So you have to know what works best for your body. So this is how you do this. There's something called Win. There's a book called Win by Daniel Pink. And in that book, he talks about the chronotype and all those things. So when it comes to chronotype, that is, your chronotype is, what are you, an owl? Are you a lark, or are you a third bird? Meaning, do you work better in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the late evening? So what I'm gonna do is, on this sheet, it explains to you those things so that you'll know. And then there's two things that you can do. Well, I'm gonna go to one of them because this is the most important. If you go to page 4 on this 11-page booklet that I sent you guys, so you have this, all I want you to do is hit the MCTQ quiz. If you hit this button right here that says MCTQ, or hit this block right here, it will open up a place where you can take this quiz. It's already linked there, so you don't have to worry about it. When you click it, it'll open up right here for you. Once you get here, you can take this quiz. And when you finish, it'll tell you what your chronotype is. Now you will know whether you're a third bird, an owl, or a lark. And that paper, that 11-page document, will let you know exactly what that means. So you'll be able to actually take a look at that, and then you'll be able to say, okay, this is what third bird, lark, whatever means. And then now you know how to utilize that, if that makes any sense to anybody. So that's what that's for, so that you understand how to do that, right? How to figure out your chronotype is here. So remember, you're just gonna go to this document, click MCTQ quiz, or you can touch the octagon right here, either one, and it'll take you directly to that quiz. Go ahead and take that quiz. And once you take that quiz, you'll know whether you're a lark, a third bird, or an owl. And on one of these pages, let me see which one it is, it will explain them here. So on page 8, it lets you know what they are and how you should set your tasks up based on what you are, whether it's critical thinking tasks, market research, business analysis. It'll let you know all of that there when you're doing that, right? So that sheet will be very helpful to you in that capacity when it comes to that. And make sure I'm not forgetting nothing here. Think I got it all. Think I got it all. Think I got it all. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, good. So I got one more thing I'm gonna do, guys, here. And we good on time. It's 1:39, so we good to 2 o'clock. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to talk about something, and I got something else I'm gonna play for you guys too in closing. But before I do that, I'm going to do this, because this is something that I want to talk to you guys about real quick. All right, so put 26 in the chat if you guys can see that. Put a 26 in the chat. If I just see one, I know that, okay, there we go. That means y'all can see it. Good stuff. All right, so what we're planning out here is a goal setting mastermind group. And the objective of the goal setting mastermind group is going to be to get through 12 weeks, which is really 90 days, but in the coaching world, we do stuff by week. So that's why I'm saying 12 weeks. We're going to do 12 weeks of goal setting and then go get through those goals. And the way that works is it's going to be two different groups, two different mastermind groups, and I'll move my slides so that you guys can see that. So there's going to be one group is going to start on Saturday, September 10th, and it's going to be only for 10 people. And then there's going to be another group that's going to start on September 6th, which is a Tuesday. So it's a Tuesday night from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And then there's a Saturday morning from 11 o'clock to 12:30 Eastern. Those are the two different groups, and you choose which group that you're going to be in. We're only allowing 10 people in each group because it's a mastermind. So we don't want more than 10 people in that group. And the idea is to work those goals with those 10 people. What we'll be doing is we'll be meeting weekly for 90 minutes to go over the goals, to structure them, and to move forward in doing them, whether it be making phone calls, losing weight, doing whatever it is you're going to do. Whatever your goals that you set, there's no parameters. So it can be spiritual, it can be health, it can be business, it can be family, it can be whatever, right? Whatever goals that you're going to set. But they cannot be more than 90-day goals. And in this setup, what we're going to be doing is, on that Saturday group, right, you're going to have those people that they can't move over to the Tuesday group. You can't interchange the groups. You have to stay within that group and do what that group is doing. Now, each person is going to be vetted. So there's a 3 1-hour, three 1-hour sessions. So those sessions are going to be, you're going to schedule an appointment with me for an hour and not go over your goals with you to make sure that you don't have anything more than 90 days. I'll also go over things with you to make sure that you're going to be accountable for the whole 12 weeks, that you're going to show up for all 12 weeks. Also, so in other words, what we're doing is we're qualifying the people. And you haven't received an email for this because I didn't blast this out because we're only looking for 20 people and we got 6 of the 20 already because I've been making calls. So some of you guys got calls from me directly about it. And we're only allowing it to be people that we've worked with before. So I took a mastermind class. So what I was taught in that class was the mastermind group is supposed to be intimate. So I'm only calling people that's been in other programs with me for this. And I'm allowing them to allow somebody to come in that may be friend or family. So I know like one person, they joined the mastermind group, they enrolled in it. And then they had their sister enrolled in it, who's in a totally different business, because we want the people to have a relationship within that group. If you haven't gotten a call from me and you've been in something to me before, you probably, because I just didn't get to your name on the list, don't worry about it. You are going to get a call from me or you missed, and I'll let you a voicemail. But I'm calling through people who have been in other programs with me. So we're still looking for 14 more people. The registration for this ends on August 15th. And it ends on August 15th because I need from August 15th till September 6th to do the 3 1-hour sessions with each person because there's 20 people. And I have to do a 1-hour session 3 times to make sure that you are qualified to be in a group. And I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but I mean in a way that some people can't commit to 12 weeks of 90 minutes a week in a meeting. Some people, they don't want to have people holding them accountable to their goals. So a mastermind group is not for everybody. That's why we're only taking 10 in each group and there's only 20 in total. So that's how everything's going to work. So we get together, we do this, and then we're going to start doing things together. I mentioned earlier in this training that one of the things we're going to be doing is using social media to share our goals. So that would be, I'm going to use people that I see on the screen right now. So if it was Jessica and Carmen and Sharon and Arancia and Michael and David and Janice and Cheryl, and we were all in this 10-man group, then I'm going to say, okay, we all know what each other's goals are. So every other day, Sharon, you're going to share one of your goals that you have on social media, on Instagram or Facebook. And when you do that, the other 9 people in this mastermind group need to go there and like that post and then comment on it, which is encouraging that person who's setting that goal and putting it on their page. And it's also saying, I've got support on that goal. Yes, that makes sense to everybody? That's going to be one of the exercises that we're going to be doing during this mastermind group. And we're going to have other exercises because obviously we're going to be together for 12 weeks. But the idea is at the end of the 12 weeks, the goals that you set are done and you went through a process with other people to get them accomplished, right? So that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm introducing it at the end of this because that's what we did, goal setting. So I had this all set up so I could talk about it here. That's another reason why I didn't blasted out to my general email list because I wanted people who were doing this kind of stuff. So outside of the people that I called already, I knew that I would see more people here that may be interested in doing it. And then after this is up, whatever spots are left, I'll make a couple of calls to some more people to get some people in there. But I promise you, we'll have 20 by the 15th because I've got a list of people longer than whatever. Like I've got a 4,000 person email list. And I just didn't want to send something like this out and just have the wrong people in the group, if that makes sense. Is that fair to everybody? So I wanted to make sure that it was people wanted to be in it because this is one of those things that you have to want to be in, right? So now, of course, I'm gonna put the magic number on there. I'm not ever scared to talk about price because I'm in sales and that's what I do. So that's what it is. So this is what the mastermind group costs. So it's 12 weeks. You end up getting 12 weeks of 90 minutes per week plus 3 1-hour sessions with me to prepare you for that deal. So if you do one payment of $299, you're gonna also get 2 more 90-minute sessions with me about whatever you want. It could be about your business. It could be just general business coaching. It could be about goal setting. That's up to you what you use them for. We work that out at that time. If you say, no, I'm just going to do 2 payments of $149.50, that's an option as well. It doesn't change the price. It's still $299. If you pay it all up front, that's your bonus with the 2 sessions, but nobody's going to get penalized for not paying all up front, right? So if you do $149, two payments of $149.50, 30 days apart, and then the last option is $99.67 every 30 days over the next 3 months, which is still ends up being the same $299. So those are your 3 payment options. This is for the Tuesday group. They both cost the same. So if you're saying, hey, this is something that I want to do, that Scan Me, you can take your phone and hit that Scan Me, and it'll take you right there to register for it if that's what you want to do. That's what that's on there for. And the registration ends on the 15th. So if you scan that, it will open up the page where it'll open up the page for Tuesday, because there's a Tuesday page, a Saturday page, and then a general page that you go to find Tuesday and Saturday. I know that sounds confusing, but because I made the pages, it's not confusing for me. But for you all, it might be confusing. So hit that scan. That will take you to the Tuesday. And I'll also put the link in there anyway for anybody that doesn't know how to use their scanner, because I know that always exists as well. Remember, there's only 10 participants. And then this is the Saturday. Nothing's changed. It's all the same except the scan takes you to Saturday as opposed to taking you to any other day, if that makes sense, right? So you got your super goal set on Saturdays and then your transformation on Tuesdays. So that's your scan. If you scan that, that'll take you to the Saturday deal. And again, I'll put both links in the chat for people who don't know how to operate the whole scan deal. But that's pretty much how that's all going to work. Where we on time? 1:49. Okay, good. So that's it for the actual presentation on the goal setting things, right? So on the six steps to goal setting, the 4 secrets to goal setting, and the 5 mental exercises you need to do. I sent out an email with, man, I don't even know how many. It's got to be over 30 pages altogether of different documents. So I'm trying to get out of the habit of saying free because my coach keeps telling me that, quit telling people free. Like I said, this was a free event. It was a free event, guys, but like I promise you, the material that I gave people, the emails that I gave people with all of the information and the fillable documents and stuff like that, it was several $100s worth of stuff that a coach would have charged you to do that stuff, right? And I was doing this even before the mastermind group. I was still doing this because I always do the goal setting throughout the year, just because I want to make sure that people are setting goals, because I got coaching clients and stuff like that. And some of them are here. So I'm going to do that kind of stuff anyway. So that's pretty much what it's for. So anybody that's interested in the mastermind, of course, obviously you can go in there and you can click on it. You can let me know if you need to talk to me before you do it. And you say, hey, I got a couple of questions. I don't want to just go in there and pay for something like that. That's totally fine. All you got to do is all you have to do is set an appointment with me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop these links in here real quick. So let me see. That way, if you need to talk to me before doing anything, you can copy. So I'm going to chat. This is going to be the Saturday. Where's my chat at? Oh, here we go. All right. So this is going to be the Saturday. mastermind link. So that one is there. And bear with me 1 second because I need to get it on YouTube as well. Okay, so now on the Tuesday, I'm gonna drop that link, and then I'm also gonna put a link that you can schedule an appointment to just discuss whatever you need to discuss with me in case that's the situation, instead of me trying to haggle time here on that. So let me go to Tuesday. That's it. Oh, I think I got a label on. Oh, you know what? Let me just do this. It'd be easier. Tuesdays. So bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to figure out the simplest way to do this. Oh, here we go. It says Wednesday, guys, but it's when you click it, it goes to Tuesday. So don't worry about it. I changed I had it at Wednesday at first, but then I remember my big sister had a meeting on Wednesdays. And I was like, let me. yeah, I keep calling her my big sister, so I didn't want to get in trouble. So I called her and changed it. But the link said, this thing says Wednesday, but it's actually Tuesday. So I'm gonna copy this and drop it in the chat real quick for you guys. And this is going to be everybody. Tuesday, mastermind. Copy. Almost finished here, guys. Almost finished. And I am going to put it on YouTube real quick. And then lastly, I'm just going to drop a link for you guys if anybody needs to schedule any kind of general consultation. Real quick. So if y'all give me 30 more seconds to get that on, I'm gonna do that quick closeout video, and we should, and that's just a couple of seconds as well. All right. And hit this chat one more time. And this is consultation. So you hit that link and it will allow you to do a consultation concerning, and put it on YouTube real quick. All right, so this closeout video is going to be another video by my man, Mr. Harvey here, and it's another video based on what we did earlier about imagination and all that kind of stuff. It's just good it's here. I thought it was a good closeout video to use, just based on some of the stuff that we talked about here. So. I'm gonna cut my camera off too so that it won't because that'll help the bandwidth on this video. So that it's not skipping around here. 10 more seconds, guys. I have it up for you.
Mr. Dunbar, I have to change phones because this phone is running hot. So I'll be back on Zoom, okay?
Okay, you got it.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something before you go. Whenever people come see me live, I try to say something meaningful to people. And I'm in the laugh business. That's my gift. That's what God gave me at birth. Your gift is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. I'll tell you something that can help enrich your life. It's a sure sign from God that He included you because He wakes you up in the morning. It's done, you won't wake up no more. But as long as you're waking up, that means He has something for you that He hasn't been able to give to you for whatever the reason. I'm going to help you get to that reason a little bit quicker. I want to tell you something that I learned that changed my life. I was reading a book one time. It had a quote in there from Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein said, "Imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions." If you think about that, that's a really, really true statement. Because everything you see in this world came from somebody's imagination. Everything. Somebody was talking on the phone one day, on that wall phone, connected to the cord, and tried to walk, and it didn't go no further. And he wanted to just go outside and get something out the car. Somebody said, "You know what? I wish I could take this phone outside." Everybody in here got a cell phone. It was in somebody's imagination. Somebody imagined that. Somebody imagined everything. Somebody got tired of walking. Somebody got tired of driving cars. Somebody said, "We're going to fly." You're not finna fly. Everybody in here have been on the plane. See, your imagination is the evidence of things not seen. You know why they call it the evidence of things not seen? Your imagination, you're the only one can see. You're the only one can see it. See, so all this stuff you've been imagining was not some hocus pocus. When you imagine stuff, it's actually God showing you a preview of a coming attraction He has for you. That's what your imagination is. Why do you keep imagining yourself with a second home? Because God wants you to have a second home. Why do you keep imagining yourself in a supervisory capacity on another job? Because God really wants you to have that. Why you keep dreaming of opening a business one day? That's because that's what God really got for you. And He put it in your imagination. The problem with your imagination, though, is you tell it to the wrong people. If you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. You can't, oh man. Think about this in your life. How many times have you had this really incredible idea and you took it to your family and your friends? You shared it with them and they shot it down. You know why they shot it down? Because they couldn't see it. Because God didn't put it in their imagination. He put it in yours. It was your evidence of things not seen. See, all this stuff you've been imagining, you ought to start working on it. Because that's what God really got for you. Your real life is in your imagination. I'm here to tell you that. You think I'm here by accident? I'm here because He put this in my imagination when I was 10. When I was 10, He showed me I was going to be on TV. That's all I ever wanted. The assignment when I was in the 6th grade was everybody write their name on a piece of paper and write what you want to be. You know what I wrote on my paper? I want to be on TV. Now, the problem I had, though, was I used to suffer with a serious stuttering problem. I couldn't talk outside my house. I stuttered for years. I flunked out of school. I'm on my third marriage. I lost everything I ever owned twice. I've been homeless and lived in a car for 3 years. But at 10 though, I wrote on a piece of paper, I want to be on TV. So the teacher went around the room and read everybody's paper. He had you stand up when she called your name. And the only assignment was your name and what you want to be. Doctor, lawyer, dentist, basketball player, football player. I wrote I want to be on TV. She saved me for last. She said, let's keep it come to the front. Now I'm thinking, I'm going to the front because I got the best answer. Because ain't nobody had put that on their paper. She called me to the front. I'm thinking I'm finna give me a gold star. So I was wrong about that. She called me to the front to humiliate me. First of all, you know I can't talk. I suffered with stuttering stammer so bad, man. I couldn't talk at all. And that lady lit in on me. How did you write this on your paper? I'm standing there, I can't talk. Who in this school ever been on TV? Who in your family ever been on TV? Who in this neighborhood ever been on TV? I'm crushing, man. I'm standing there. She said, look at you standing there. You can't even talk. How they gonna put somebody like you on TV? So every Christmas, I sit here on flat screen TV. I don't know how to miss me. I want her to miss not that episode of me. Because I wanted her to see what God had done for me. The fact that you couldn't see it, it wasn't for you to see. He put it in my imagination. But after 3 years of homelessness, losing everything I ever owned twice, suffering through the flunking out of school, go home and cut your TV on. That little boy with the stuttering problem, he all over that TV. You can't cut your TV on. You can't cut your TV on not 9 days a week, and you don't see that little boy. That little boy with the stuttering problem is all over that TV because God put it in my imagination. All I did was hang on to that thought. I just kept hoping. I just kept hoping that what I wrote on the paper would come true. A lot of times it wasn't about no faith. I didn't believe it sometimes. When you're homeless and living in the car, how you see yourself as a TV star? But I just kept hanging on there. Because my mom was a Sunday school teacher. I kept hearing her say, God. God didn't bring you this far to leave you. Why do you think he keeps waking you up? Way more for you. He got plans for you. But he needs your faith. He just needs you to call him. He needs you to dust off your imagination and just go for it. You got to try. Quit waking up thinking you ain't got no say-so in your life. You have a choice in this matter. You can't stop what happened to you, but you can doggone sure do something about what happened to you. Life is 10% what happened to you. It's 90% what you do about it. Somebody in your family gonna die. Somebody in here gonna get fired. Somebody here gonna get an eviction notice. Somebody gonna get laid off. Somebody company gonna close. That's life. Somebody you love gonna break up with you. That's life. But what you gonna do about it though? Since it's gonna happen anyway. Go home and ask God to open up your imagination. And then pursue it with everything in you and watch what he do for you. Appreciate y'all.
All right, guys. So have to share real quick. Sorry about that. All right, so close this out. Can you guys see me now?
Nope.
Nope. Can't see me. Oh yeah, because I gotta cut my camera on. I guess we gotta see me.
Yeah.
Yeah. There goes the common sense.
The video was deep.
Huh?
The video was deep.
Oh, good, good. And whoever that is, I certainly wasn't trying to make you cry, but I know it's Steve Harvey can go deep, man. And it's like, and I wanted to end with that video because I think it's so important that people understand that, like especially, and I don't know everybody that's on here, and I can't see everybody, but I know because I'm a person of color, I was always brought up to believe that I had to work way harder than I needed to get to where I wanted to get to. Because we feel like I got to do all this extra, and it's like it doesn't take as much manual labor. I don't mean like having work ethic. I mean like hard up. We think we got to do double the work as everybody else to have the same money as they have. And it's really about also, as a man thinketh, as a woman thinketh, your imagination, understanding that if you set goals, that you visualize, all of those things go into that work as well. So you do your work, right? Do your 8 to 10 hours work a day or whatever you're doing, but you also need to have your vision boards. You also need to have faith. You also need to ask, like Steve already said in the first video when we started, you got to up your ask if you want more. It's all of those things are in combination. Hitting your goals is not just about being you intelligent. Like I know the God that I serve is not about being the smartest person. God did not say because you're not intelligent, you can't be wealthy. It's wealthy people that are intelligent. It's wealthy people who never went to college. It's wealthy people who've been fired, been in all kinds of bad situations. So like the God I serve, it's about saying, if you do what needs to be done, you can be where you want to be at. Setting goals is how all of that starts. If you don't have a goal to get somewhere, if you do get there, you made it there by mistake, which means you can't get there again. And that means that you can't help anybody get there because you don't even know what you did. You can't help your kids get there, your friends get there. You can't coach, train anybody to get there. You can't do it. You can't do it. And that's why I like working with like people like I told you, like I said, my big sister's on here, Sharon. That's why I like working with Sharon, because Sharon wants to help other people get to where she's gotten to. It's not about saying I got there and saying, hey, look, I got this lifestyle. It's like, well, how did you do that? And then they try to act like, well, I ain't gonna give you the secrets because you don't know no damn secrets because you got there by mistake. That's why you can't give me no secrets because you don't know none. You don't know what you did. Right? You was in the right place at the right time and it paid off. And you can't tell nobody how to do that because it wasn't a plan, right? There was no goal set. There was no walk. There was no process. Some people it just happens that way. And when it does, you can't help anybody. So what I like is that she has programs to help people. I love to help people get to a specific place because I like to pull that out of people when I know that they've got the work ethic to do it. And that's what we're doing. That's the kind of work that we're doing with all of the different programs we do. That's why I do so much stuff at no cost. The biggest fight I have with my coach all the time is he's always like, dude, you give away too much for free. And I'm like, I understand you're a coach and I understand what you're telling me, but you have to understand my business model is set up to over-deliver. So if it's set up to over-deliver, I'm supposed to be. So you telling me that is a compliment. Because that means that I'm doing exactly what my business model says. And guess what? I'm never hungry. I don't ever need nothing. My kids don't ever need nothing. So until that breaks, until that happens, until I find myself in a place where I can't pay for something I need, then maybe I think about changing my business model. But until then, why would I? I don't never need anything. My mom don't ever need nothing. My sisters do well. Like, you know what I mean? Like my kids, they don't want for nothing. Right. So because I'm in that position, I know that I'm in that position because I give as much as I can. Now I can't give everything free because I got bills to pay, but I give enough free that when I ask for something, people don't ever trip about it. And I don't have a problem with helping people to an extent, as long as I know that they're going to use the information to get ahead. If that makes sense. So that's what it's about, guys. But it starts with you setting the proper goals, walking through those proper steps. And what you'll realize is, getting to this place, if you haven't already gotten to where you want to be, getting to that place was really all about you just meticulously saying, I'm going to work on this. And that doesn't mean slave labor. That doesn't mean manually doing a job. That means doing whatever it is you do for a living, but also using your mind to help visualize where you want to go so that the things that you're asking for are delivered, because now your brain knows what to ask for, because you're putting it in front of your face. That's what it's been about for me. And I know that that's what works because I've seen too many wealthy people explain it that way in different industries that don't know each other, of every sex, gender, and religion. And they'll tell you the same thing. It's more than just how it works. So that's why I like to do these goal setting, because it's just important for people to understand that there's a very big process into doing all of this stuff, and you have to set it up so that it'll plan out, and everything around that will come together if you do it that way. So, guys, I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. 2:11. We're 11 minutes past the time we're supposed to stop. If anybody has any questions, I'll hang around for a couple of minutes. If anybody have any questions about anything, other than that, I pretty much delivered everything via email. If you didn't get something, let me know. Just shoot me an email or a text and say, hey, I didn't get the documents or whatever, and all I got to do is forward it to you, because it's just that simple to get it to you. So I appreciate you guys all for giving me 3 hours on your Saturday. That's a big deal. Like 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon. I know it's a lot of stuff y'all could be doing. Get day off. I feel special. I feel special. So if anybody has anything, you can unmute yourself and go. Thank you, Big Sis, for hanging out today. Appreciate you.
It was my pleasure. I always learn.
Absolutely. And thank you, Shannon, wherever you're at. I know you're there somewhere for hanging out and doing some co-host stuff for me as well. Absolutely.
Mr. Dunbar had a question. This is
Yes.
Ursula Roderick.
Uh-huh.
Was it only 3 sets of pamphlets you sent out?
Probably not. I probably send out more. I'll be sending stuff out sometimes. I'll be in the spirit. I'll be sending people like, nobody, you sent me another email. I'm like, but it's information. I'm not asking you to pay for nothing. So I know I sent a 10-page pamphlet. That was one thing. The 10-page one I sent right before we started. I sent 3 separate documents, and it was like one email that had 3 separate documents in that. And then, and actually, if you just look at the last email, so the last email had everything in it.
Okay.
I put everything in one email, the last one. So the one you got 15 minutes before we started, depends on what time zone you in. 15 minutes before we started, you should have gotten an email that says we're starting in 15 minutes. That has a link for everything we went over.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yep, it does.
Hey, Mr. Dunbar.
Yes.
Good morning. Oh, good afternoon. I like when you said that I know Avalon is still there. I don't know if she get off. Just because she supposed to go get a car, and I keep telling her, just go get the car, just go get it. And I like when you say, and I know she heard that, go sit in the car, walk around, look at it. And I hope she really hear what you're saying, because I say it's time you're paying Uber this money twice a day, 3 times a day, and you calculate it. That's your car note right there, you know? So I hope you really hear that. So that was good. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. And that's powerful. It does work. Now, we'll tell you that.
No, I'm leaving just now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you ever listen to Dan Locke, Dan Locke will tell you, now, if you're going to do the car thing once a month, just keep in mind you're going to have to go to different dealerships, because they're going to get tired of you coming in and test driving that car for 6 months. so they'll be like, hey, look, man, you ain't going to get this car. You're going to have to, so you may have to identify a few different dealerships that sell that kind of car if you want to do that. But in all seriousness, that does work. I've done that with 2 of my vehicles that I've had over the years. 2 different vehicles I did that with. I went to the dealership once a month and sat in the car, test drove the car, and that really does work. It really does help you focus on getting it, because it stays top of mind, because you're going there and you get antsy about it, because it's like, man, you drive it and it's like when the test drive is over, you like, I gotta go get back in this car, and you get tired of doing that. It helps you get that vehicle, especially if it's like a luxury vehicle or whatever. One of the 2 cars, it was a really nice car, really nice, comfortable leather. It had all kinds of things that the car I was driving at the time didn't have. And it really did help me work towards that goal. So it really does help. And it's not hokey. It's not, you're going to end up with this car. It's not no magic. It's not a magic trick. It's your brain works while you sleep. And if it knows what you want, it knows what to work with. So that really does work. Absolutely.
Mr. Dunbar.
Yes.
I know someone who couldn't make it today. Will it still be up on YouTube later on?
It will. My editing guy is probably gonna pull it down and do some stuff to it. It will be right now because right now it's his anniversary weekend. So his wife ain't going for that. I know. So he probably ain't gonna pull it down here between today and tomorrow because he probably got something planned for the whole weekend. And I know they were going to Atlanta for the weekend, so he's probably not gonna pull it down until Monday. So it's probably gonna be there until Monday, unedited, just like it is now. So you can go back and look at it.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Mr. Delbar.
Hey, Jessica, how are you?
Fine. You know, when my daughter was younger, I used to make lots of good money that you didn't know about. And I'm for real, I was a millionaire twice. But I would just go shopping, blah, blah, blah. But do you think I could make $895,000 in 90 days?
I think anything's possible. I mean, that depends on what you do and what you're selling. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like somebody got a product that costs that much. So, I mean, you know what I mean? So it just depends on what you're selling, whether you can make that kind of money, but I don't think anything's out of reach for anybody. It just depends on what vehicle you use to get to wherever you're attempting to get to. Does that make sense? So some people making $10,000 a month is difficult because they might be selling something for $5. Somebody else making $10,000 a month is not because they're selling something for $5,000. So all they need to sell is $2,000. So it just depends on what vehicle you take. But no, I think that any income goal is reachable, especially as long as you have a time frame that's realistic for that, based on what it is, where the money comes from.
Legal Shield.
No, I don't think that's doable. I don't think $895,000. And you said how many? 90 days?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that's doable. Now, I'm not the say all on that. I'm just saying $895,000. You have to build up to that kind of money. You know what I mean? Like that's a build up. Somebody make money that fast, they probably gonna hold the money to make sure ain't no trickery going on, that kind of money. So I mean, you know what I mean? I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're selling insurance. If you're selling insurance and you make $895,000 in 90 days, they probably gonna be like, we're gonna hold these checks for a couple months to make sure.
Yes, okay.
That's a lot of money. Yeah,
but I mean, like, if I was to do like business companies.
That's probably something we should talk about offline.
Okay.
Yeah. Just call me. Yeah, just call me and I'll talk to you. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Tell your daughter, tell Jasmine, say hey.
I will. Her babies.
And the grandbaby. Your grandbaby.
Yes. Yes, indeed. I will.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right, you got it. Absolutely. Thanks for joining me.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Everybody else good? Anybody else have anything else before we close out? Going once? Going twice?
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Stephanie. Thanks for being on everything.
Thank you.
Man, what's up? You good?
I'll be calling you too.
Oh, you gonna be calling me? All right, good stuff. I got you. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and sign off. And like I said, right now it'll be on YouTube. Annette Gibbs, it'll be on YouTube also. I see Sandra Kroom. I see up there Arancia Johnson. This is gonna be on YouTube, just like we just did. It's just gonna be unedited. It'll be there probably for the next 2 days before my guy pulls it down and starts to break it up and edit it and all that kind of stuff. So feel free to grab it. Now, when it's edited too, you guys get it. Anybody that's registered for this, I'm going to email it out to you. So you will have it like in the email. It'll be like a Zoom deal. So you can click on it and you can just rewind it and fast forward it and all that stuff. So I will send it out in the email to everybody as well. Okay?
Fantastic.
All right. And you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And I look forward to seeing you guys on something else real soon. If anybody needs to talk to me offline, just reach out to me, either text me or call me or hit that link and schedule an appointment with me, whichever way is more convenient for you. All right.
Thank you.
All right, you got it.